If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Hello and welcome to episode 46 of Weekend Warriors right here on the HHH Racing Podcast. I'm your proud host, Howard Kravitz. And in the first hour, we have our co-host, Philly boy, Andrew Rosinski. Hope everyone's doing well. You can see the beautiful Del Mar there in the background. What a day of racing it's already been on the left coast as it's Pacific Classic Day. And we are here to cover the last the last four races, at Del Mar, including one allowance and three grade stakes, two of them grade ones and a grade two, of course, including the $1 million Pacific Classic. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen, on the bottom right-hand side of the screen on your YouTube channel. Smash that like button below the video player, and on the top right, there is a notification bell. Please hit that so that you know when new content will arise. You can listen to us also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. And you can follow us on X right below Andrew there at HHH Racing Pod. Philly boy, Andrew Rosinski is here. Andrew, how you doing today, my friend? Big day out in California.
Yeah, I had my ups and downs today, and whatnot. Slept throughout half the card, because I'm working nights today. So, it's been all right. It had some ups and downs, and hopefully we get some more ups before the end of the day.
We just finished race 7 at Del Mar. And again, just to let everyone know, of course, obviously because of Del Mar and Fox has the TV rights, we are going to be playing audio of all the races here as usual on Weekend Warriors. So go ahead and put that TV on if you like, but turn the sound off. Grab your computer, laptop, phone, whatever, and turn the sound on this YouTube channel here, the HHH Racing Podcast. We've seen a lot of prices so far at Del Mar, Andrew. It's been very tricky. We just saw a 6-1 Lonesome Stew, who was more like 8-1, 10-1. Of course, drifted a little bit down late. I had that one in my pick 5, but not on one of my main tickets. That was a backup for me, so I'm a little bit skinny going forward. But of course, we've one more allowance race coming up here, relatively small field, and then 3 stake races, of which I would say the Pacific Classic is, to me, wide open, unless you just think Knightsbridge is going to win. And then the last 2 races are turf races that are very interesting also. Pretty tough sequence, this late pick 4 that we're going to have on the show today.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's some very big fields and very good quality horses that can win. So, you might need a little bit of a big bankroll for these last few races.
Absolutely. We're going to be going through everything in detail. Let's get some people on the chat. If you're watching us live, please go to the chat, tell your friends and neighbors, etc. We've had massive audiences, thousands and thousands of people have been watching these shows. Now, we've never gone this late on a Saturday, Andrew, but you got to figure a lot of people are watching West Coast Racing today. So no matter where you are in the world, welcome to Weekend Warriors. Hot Rod Horse Players here. Knightsbridge complete fade. Not on any of my tickets. Wow. Our Stephanie, great job by HHH on race 9 today at Saratoga with the Mott runner. That was Stimulate. That was Stimulate. Actually, myself and Paul Hallen crushed that because Freddie B was actually a spot play for me. I thought he ran huge in second there. We have the Gilly Cappers here. Hello. Let's go. Thanks, Gilly Cap, for joining the show. And JL 1123 at Hot Rod Horse Player with you here. Too much speed, wrong distance. He's talking about Knightsbridge. Very quickly before we get into race 8 at Del Mar, which is the start of the late pick 4, I want to quickly ask you about Saratoga. Earlier today, there were 2 big races, the Boston Spa. A bit controversial. I thought there was some hurting going on, but and one more time stays up. Suggested was just awful for Chad today, although she did break a little bit slow. But then Chad got her revenge in the big one of the day, the grade 1 Alabama. My Guns Loaded upsets Counting Stars in a very interesting race. Your quick thoughts on those two, Andrew, before we go to California.
Yeah, one of the ups was that I was on My Guns Loaded, trying to beat Counting Stars, obviously, at that price. and I was right on that end, but I did not have Javier and Mark Cassie's horse in the Boston Spa at all. I really liked Deep Sat in that race, and came up a little short, but that's racing for you. And Javier's been riding his behind off lately up there in Saratoga. I think he won what, three or four today. So happy to see him doing really well. He's been crushing that turf course lately, and definitely something to keep an eye on when it comes to turf races going forward for the last couple weeks at Saratoga.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. We are 1 week away from the Travers in New York. They're going to draw the field tomorrow. Looks like it's going to be a field of 9 or 10-ish horses with all the Triple Crown race winners in there, and it's going to be a great race. I'm sure Renegade is going to take a lot of money, along with, of course, the Derby champ and the Belmont champ, Golden Tempo. I'm sure there will be sharing favoritism. Let's get into the Del Mar. Again, this is the last 4 races. Because I only am alive on a backup ticket, I'm probably going to come back here with a a decent sized pick 4 ticket. And the first race we're going to be talking about is race 8. So let me go ahead and bring that on the screen. We are not really showing or playing either tracks. I wanted to really focus on Del Mar. So that'll give us a chance to go through like every horse in each race, which will be great for the people at home. So the late pick 4 starts in about 20 minutes here with race 8. Let me bring up the field without the PPs, just the entries. Then we can talk. I thought this race changed some complexion quite a bit. This is an allowance optional 50. They're going a flat mile on the dirt. That is 2 turns. Speed's been playing predictably well there today. I wouldn't say it's speed favoring, but speed, as usual, plays well. There were 3 scratches: Charlie Foxtrot, Native Land, and Frosty Indulgence. And the 1 and 4 were definitely going to show speed. So now it's scratched down to a field of 6, Andrew. We do see the live odds on the board. Pure Madness is a bit surprising to me low, 6-5 right now in the live odds, although it is early, followed by 2 5-2s and Magnify and Clouseau. Let's just go ahead right now to the field, Andrew, and we'll just go ahead and go through. Really, we can go through every horse, especially now because there's only 6 horses in this race. And I'll get your takes. I'm sure you deep dove. Let's start with Honky Tonk Highway, 15-1. This horse is in the 50. Recent claim for Mick Ruiz.
Yeah, this one's I think, a little outclassed here, but the way the price has been coming in, you never know how these horses are going to run. But hasn't won in 2 years, has a couple underneath, top 3, but just seems like a class above, a class below. And dropping from a 62 to a 50, maybe 50 is the right level, but I still think this one needs to take a step above or a step in forward to, improve here and see if they can do that. But new barn switch, you never know.
I think this horse will show speed, almost has to from the inside. The workouts are actually very good. I don't like this horse in this race, but like you said, we've seen some weird things happening today. Kyle Frey struggling 5 for 72 at the meet, but it is Del Mar. He's a solid jockey. He's just a very tough colony. Of course, it is the feature meet of the summer on the West Coast. Berlin Wall is 22-1 for Steve Knapp. He has been in the money 8 of 12. Is a Calbred in here against Open Company. If you throw out the last race, he's got some numbers that are decent, but he just doesn't always get the job done.
Yeah, he's a little quirky of a horse, coming out of a really bad effort. But that was first off a layoff, but well, it wasn't that long of a layoff to show up that much of a dud. So maybe horse needed one. Seems like one that improves with time. So maybe this one will be needing another race, and maybe next time out is when you really want to fire with this one.
Mike Saletta, Hockey 17 Horses. What's up, Mike? He's in the chat. Please feel free as we go through these races to put your top pick or maybe top 3 in each race. I'm trying to put as many comments on the screen as possible. I don't like this horse at all. I've seen him run a lot. He's very one-paced. He just is not usually good enough, and that is indicated by the price. He's actually the longest shot on the board in this race. But like we said, it's a small field. Sometimes small field, big price. So let's go to the favorite right now, who I think is way, way over bet. Pure Madness is 6-5. I think those odds are a bit Pure Madness. This is another Calbred. He is 6 for 6, first or second. has done absolutely nothing wrong on the dirt or the turf, really. I mean, this is a very honest horse. But obviously, Andrew, this horse has been a little bit ouchy. He's had his issues. This is only his 7th lifetime start, as we're in the middle to late now portion of his 5-year-old season. However, he does project to be forward here. He ran very well against Native Land, just barely losing. I am using him here quite a bit in this race, but I would never put a win bet on him at 6-5. But he's very, very logical. I don't think he's a deserved favorite. I actually prefer someone else, but how tough do you think Pure Mattis is going to be in this spot?
I mean, with the scratches of the 1 and the 4, this one seems to be some of the pace, if not the pace now, breaking from the inside, even though it's going to be with the 3 hole, not the 5. I think this one has all the chances in the world to win. Has done nothing wrong. It's just the fact that it can't stay on the track. Taking that almost 2 year gap from 2024 to 2025. I mean 2026. And then it's just also like kind of weird because they always toss it on the turf and they come back to dirt, and it's just I guess the horse doesn't really do anything wrong, so you could put it wherever. But at 6-5 or even money, I think I'd probably have to go against it when it comes to just a single race wager.
Sylvain is in the chat from, of course, Montreal. Happy for Mike, ready for the Habs season already. You gotta wait a little bit, Sylvain. It's not even September. How are the Flyers going to look this year, Andrew?
Hopefully they do just as good as they did last year.
Yeah.
They overachieved last year, so hopefully keep improving.
Hi, all. Late to the party. What's up? Terry Frank is in the chat. Excellent contest player, even better person. Terry is here. That is great to see. All right. I have a strong opinion on Magnify. I'm going to be either very right or very wrong. Just let everyone know in case we take a quick break or you have a little time. We did break down the sequence in details. Myself, Noah Maher will be on in just a little while, and Jackson Muniz. We broke the sequence down on Pacific Horse Players on Thursday night. And I talked about Magnify. This is another 5-year-old, only 1 for 8, but certainly he's in the money a lot. It takes a lot of money, doesn't usually get the job done. His figures fit, Andrew, and I'm going to show a replay once we're done going through this race. The figures fit. He is very one pace. Like he's just, I made a sound effect on the show because I don't know how to describe it otherwise. When you watch him, he's like blope, blope, blope. Like he runs, 12-second eighths. He doesn't really change speed, but he's got high cruising speed. He just has trouble passing horses. He doesn't like to go through holes. He's bred unbelievably. Justify stellar win. He's just been a little disappointing. I'm totally against him. And then saying that, Andrew, I'm going to use him very defensively. I know he can win. He's just a horse I just don't like at all.
See, with the scratches, I'm actually the opposite of how you feel right now, where
Okay.
I'm actually going to single this in a small double going into the next race.
Wow.
I just think that with the added or the lack of speed, that this one has some ability to press, that with its ability to kind of just cruise, like you say, if that 5 doesn't get to the finish out, where the 5 kind of get like hung a couple times last 2 times out, maybe Magnify just plots along and gets up at the wire with Kamir and the irons, and you get a little bit of a value here compared to the 5. But I was torn between the 7 and the 8, but I ended up going with the 7 ultimately.
Interesting.
Because of that reason.
Why do I feel like we're always against each other on these shows? I mean, Andrew and I get along great. We actually have never met in person yet. I look forward to doing that soon, Andrew, at some point. But Andrew and I seem to be against each other a lot on these shows. Well, good luck to you. Like I said, I'm going to use him, but I don't know. The horse I like quite a bit here, who is a little cold on the board, which makes me a little nervous, to be very honest. I know Noah Maher is a big fan of this horse, the number 8 Clouseau, who was a spot play for him. He's also a spot play for me. The board tells, and I don't really love this 3-1. I thought he could be as low as 9-5, frankly. He's run some big Races. He was in very good form for Papadromo, whose horses, when they're in good form, usually stay in form. He's 9 for 31. He's won almost $500,000. Really nice caliber. I'm not worried about the distance. The one concern I do have, and maybe this is why he's 3-1. He was a vet scratch on July 18th when a lot of these horses did run, Andrew. I'm going to show that replay because there, like I said, there's a lot of horses coming out of that race. He does have 2 works since then. We see on the screen. You see there's a gap here. If you look at the bottom of the screen, I'll see if I can highlight this without, yeah. So I'm highlighting the bottom of the screen. He worked July 11th, a little hard to see now, so I'll just take it off. And then there was the gap in the works because he had the vet scratch. These works, though, this was a B minus work, and the last work was a B, as in boy work. So the DRF clockers are perfectly fine with his works. He gets Rispoli, he gets Fresu. I have no problem there. There's signal and noise here. I'm a little bit worried. I was going to put a win bet on Clouseau or play him more heavily. I still think he's one of the horses to beat. I got to tell you, this 3-1 gives me the heebie-jeebies just a bit, Andrew.
Yeah, I think the 3-1 represents his bad record at Del Mar compared to Santa Anita.
Okay, that's
That's
fair.
kind of why that was my closing factor between the 7 and the 8 is that he's 0 for 7 at Del Mar. Granted, he has
Yes.
second and 2/3, but 9 wins elsewhere, 7 on the dirt. So it just proves that dirt's not the issue. It's down at the distance. Might just be the track, and not all horses can take their ability over, to certain tracks, and this one might just be an anti-Delmar type of horse and might benefit more from Santa Anita
I just look at the
for
doubles.
prices.
Sorry, Andrew. I think you made a great point about Del Mar and this horse. Del Mar can be a horse for course, kind of track. I just looked at the doubles. The 5 is ahead of him. The 7, he's 4th choice in the doubles. So I don't. This 3-1 is he might even drift up to 7-2, 4-1. I might have to change my thinking in the pick 4 here. The pick 5 is already in. I'm alive to 5-8 in my pick 5. My pick 4, I don't know. And Terry says, why do the odds give me the heebie-jeebies? Because Terry, on paper and my own handicapping, I thought he was a horse to beat along with the 5. I thought he'd be 9-5 here, Terry. So either I'm misreading how good he is, or maybe it's the Del Mar thing / the works, and people have seen that in the morning, and maybe he's just not back to his form. I don't know. This is very, very polarizing to me. Santarena, who I believe was the top choice of Jasper Muniz, is 9-2. This is a horse that's only gone the distance one time, ran perfectly fine, finished to a very nice horse named Eagle's Flight last year, has been sprinting lately, ran well in his last 2. The downside of this horse, Andrew, is very sprinty. I have reservations as to if this horse can go long. That being said, now he only breaks from the 6 hole because there's only 6 horses, number 1. And number 2, he's taking some money. And I guess there's some questions with some other horses. So I'm upgrading him because of the scratches. There's not nearly as much speed in this race now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. 9-2 is a little bit short for me, but it also makes sense because it's a 6-horse field. But it's Rosario who's on fire right now, especially out west. Since he moved his tag, so you got to include him. But it's just one that doesn't always like to get the job done. And then when you add in the fact that it's stretching out a little bit, I don't think the stretch out is going to necessarily benefit or hurt him. I don't think it really matters. It just matters if this horse can get his, act together and figure out how to win, because it seems like he knows how to run well but doesn't know how to finish the job. So I don't know, maybe, but we get Rosario in the irons, and Rosario gave this horse really good effort 2 back, so maybe he can win.
Yeah, I think he can win, and I'm going to use him. And the hesitation right now is I'm putting in a pick 4 ticket on my phone here, and I'm getting a little cheeky with it because I'm not using Knightsbridge, but we'll get to that a little bit later. We've got how much time to post here, Andrew? We got about 4 minutes to post. So let me do this. Let me put us back on full screen. Let me go ahead and set up something on the side here so we can get the sound on at the appropriate time. So hold on 1 second here. I'm going to stop sharing and then reshare. Give me your top 3. Actually, before you give me your top 3, Andrew, how do you think this race will develop? Do you see the 5 on the lead? Maybe the 9 will send very hard and clear. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think 5 definitely sends with Ayuso in the irons, and then I think the 7 and the 9 press, and then I think the 8 is going to sit right behind them and try and make one run. And I'm hoping that the 7 can just get the jump on everybody and outlast them. So if you're looking for a top 3, I'm probably 7, 5, 8 here. And then I'm playing a double 7 into the 4 and the 10 into the next race.
Okay, 7, 5, 8 for Andrew. I'm just going to go with my opinion from on Thursday. Although again, there were scratches and might change my thought here. Originally, I was 8, 5, 4. Originally, I am going to. You know what? I'm going to go with my gut here. I'm going to go 5, 8, 9. I'm going to switch off of Clouseau. I'm not going to put a win bet on Clouseau. Although if you had told me Thursday, Andrew, this horse would be 3-1. I would do something irresponsible. I actually said that I would do that. By the way, I put the sound on, but there is no one's talking right now. So when they start talking, make sure that actually I need to do this here, and then we need to go back to here. Okay. I'll let you know when there's sound that you should be hearing. You can check for me. In terms of a pick 4 bet, Andrew, what are you thinking here? I'm sure you looked at the 3 stake races. Give us a pick 4 ticket, although I know you're not playing it, so I'm pulling it on the spot, but you know the races. What would you play in a pick 4?
Mm-hmm.
What would
I
your
definitely
pick
would
4?
use the 5 and the 7. For this leg, it would definitely be 5, 7. I
Okay.
probably would only use those 2. In the next leg, I really like Tam Tam. I like Green Carrera, so that's 3 and the 4. And the other 2 I like are Kensington Lane and Rating Party. So 3, 4, 9, 10. And then going into the Pacific Classic, there's only 2 I would use. I want to kind of keep it simple there, and that's the Japanese horse Finger and then Knightsbridge, because Knightsbridge on paper really should be the one to beat, but never know with the distance and everything. So I'll try the Japanese Invader to try to beat him. And then in the final leg, I'm really, really high on El Potente, the 12 horse for Dan Blacker and Hector Barrios. They have a saying, Hector always wins the last race at Del Mar, so hopefully that can happen. So yeah, if you're looking for a small ticket, it'd be basically 5, 7 here, 3, 4, 9, 10 next race, 3, 9, 3, 11 or whatever Knightsbridge is, 3, 12, no 3, 11 in the Pacific Classics, and then singling the 12, which is a lukewarm morning line favorite, in El Potente in the last.
I'll give everyone my smaller pick 4 here. Again, we don't have a banner around the screen for it. I would either go 5, 8 here or just single the 5. I'm chalking out in the next race in the Oaks. I would go just 3, 9. I think Green Carrera is overrated, although I suppose she could win. Yeah, I'd be spreading a lot in the Pacific Classic and maybe even fade the 11. I'm really big on Original Sin as a bomb. I think the 6 is a big shot. I'm taking a chance on that race. I'd go mainly 6 and 7 because I think the race could fall apart. I'd use Knightsbridge defensively along with Finger and Navajo Warrior. And then I would mainly go 7, 12 in the last. I do like El Potente. Little concerned again off the layoff. Looking at, can you hear that?
It's
yeah.
Okay, awesome. We hear Lyric Comus. So I would mainly use 7, 12 on the end. Good luck to everyone here as they are approaching the gate for race 8, the start of the pick 4. Over $630,000 right now in the pick 4 pool. Probably climb up to about 800,000 as they are loading in the gate. The morning line or the favorite right now is Pure Madness, taking a ton of money at 3-2. And like I said, Clouseau has gone up to 7-2. Andrew, good luck everyone in race 8
Pure Madness
at Del Mar. You're watching live the HHH Racing Podcast. I think the aggressiveness of the 9, Andrew, will determine how fast this pace is. It could be quick. I think a lot depends on. Would you send hard if you're the 9? Just be happy to sit off.
In this sort of a field, I probably would send. Rosario can get aggressive from time to time, so I can see him sending.
All in line.
Here we go.
They're off. Santorena on the far outside. Pure Madness. These two joined by Clouseau for the lead. Berlin Wall is away running in 4th, but just behind them. Then Hunky Tonk Highway and Magnify at the rear of the field, racing into that turn, where it will be Pure Madness to establish the early lead here. On top by 3/4 of a length over Clouseau in second.
No one really with any
Santorina's third on the
excuses.
outside. Berlin Wall is fourth and
Looks
riding
like it's
the rail
honest
around
to
that
me.
first turn. Alongside of him is Magnify. Hunky Tonk Highway is the trailer, 6 lengths from the front.
Pretty quick.
22.55 was the opening quarter mile for Pure Madness, who's on top by a half a length.
Your 7 is
Clouseau
pulling
on the
crazy
outside
here.
is second. Then a line of 3. Santorina. Between horses, Berlin Wall is down toward the inside, and then Magnify, and 3 back to Hunky Tonk Highway. So they make their way into the far turn. Pure Madness still ahead of Clouseau by about a half a length here through a 46.53 half mile. Break of another 2, then Magnify, Berlin Wall. These two trying to shake away from Santorina, who's dropped back to 5th. Hunky Tonk Highway is the trailer. Pure Madness and Clouseau have a 2-length edge on
no
Magnify
excuses, you're 7.
as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Pure Madness and Armando Ayuso turning for home with the lead. Clouseau trying to hang in there in second, and then comes Magnify in third. A furlong to run, and Clouseau keeps coming after Pure Madness. These two by the 16th pole together, Pure Madness and Clouseau. Clouseau and Pure Madness. Who's it going to be? Here's the wire, and it is Pure Madness who runs out quicker to the wire than Clouseau, and then came Magnify.
Larry with a little bit of a hiccup there. It sounds like you know what to say. 5, 8, 7. I was right and wrong. I was right to go off of Clouseau a little bit, although he did ran huge. They just went around the track. 1, 2, Andrew. No one really moved at all. The 7 was a little bit uncomfortable in between, but really on the turn, which had no excuse, and just, I don't want to rip on you, Andrew, because I've been wrong a zillion times. He's just, that's who he is, man. I mean, today he had no excuses, really. Just on the turn, he just can't accelerate. Pure Madness won 7-5. The money showed there, although Clouseau, who I liked a lot more on Thursday, ran a massive race, 136 and won 5-8-7. Andrew, your thoughts?
Yeah, I ended up playing that pick 4 because it was only $8, and I ended up using the 5 and 7, so I'm alive, which is nice. But yeah, no, I mean the 8 had no excuses. The 8 should have really went by. I don't know how that 8 doesn't go by. I would say that 8 kind of hung a little bit. 7 was just one pace. I mean, NYRA had to really work that horse to get into the first turn to even get position, because it went so fast, and I think that kind of used up all his energy at the end. Same with all the other horses. The other horses kind of just all faded out, and really it was a 2-horse race, the 5 and the 8. And I used to just had more in the tank, and that 22 fraction early on I thought was going to ruin him at the end, but he ended up having more. So very good ride, and chalks out, but we are alive.
Yeah, it's weird because the 8 was a tip sheet play, so I sort of wanted the 8 to win, but I played a pick 4 that I'm writing down right now. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the screen, everyone. So everyone, just give me a second. I played a bigger pick 4 where I spread in the first race and used 4, which now on the surface sounds stupid. However, as I'm writing this down, I did play something I don't usually do. I played a very aggressive $5 pick 4, Andrew, for $80, and I singled the 5 on it.
Okay,
so
there you go.
Right, but I mean it's chalk, but I have some prices in the Pacific Classic, and I did not use Knightsbridge on that ticket because if the 5's going to win, Andrew, and I also chalked out in the last race, I don't need chalk, right? So
right.
It was more of a value situation.
Yeah, I agree. I would, if you're going to play a press ticket, I would assume that it would be the best option was to go with using only one of the chalks, whether it's Knightsbridge or this horse.
I know Charlie Freeman's a little disappointed, and maybe Noah is also, that our tip sheet play didn't get home. I don't think the 8 hung. I thought the 8 ran. I mean, I thought he ran well. It was a quick pace early, although the 5 also had to run fast. But the 9 was sort of breathing a little bit on the 8 halfway through the race, up to that. So, I mean, a little bit. The 8 never really caught a breather either, is my point, Andrew. And it's not, I mean, he ran on the lane, just couldn't get the 5. The 5's a very nice horse. So I'm not surprised at all by that.
I think the
result.
5
I actually think
really
I said
good.
5-8. I think I said 5-8-9, I believe, before the
Yeah,
race
you did.
started.
Yeah, you were 5.89, and I was
The 9
7.5
just
in the
doesn't want
morning.
the distance, Andrew. I know he was 3 wide. But the 9 had no excuses. I don't think the 7 really. I don't think anyone really had any excuses. The 5 was just the best.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the fractions were honest. If there was going to be a pace collapse, the 5 would have, it would have been true. And I just think that the 5 was just a little bit better, and the money
Yeah,
followed it.
I agree. So the 5 wins at 7-5. It's one of the first chalks we've seen excuse me, in a while. Paid 480 and 320, 220. Clouseau 520 to place, Andrew, in a 6-horse field. That's
That's
crazy.
pretty solid.
The
Yeah.
dog's after was $10. Look, if I said, look, I've got a 9-1 for you, a 9-1 play, which is what it is. I'd take that in a heartbeat. I wish I was in a contest. I think I would have smashed that actually, but I am not in a contest, so that's the way it goes. Chalky way to start the pick 4. Let's get some comments here in the chat. The 9 and the 7 stunk. The 9 definitely stunk. The 7, and what do you do with him, Andrew? To be honest,
7 just did what 7 does.
sorry, go ahead.
7 just does what 7 does, and that's plot around the track and hit the board.
What would you do with him? I joked on Thursday that he should be in the Pacific Classic. And I only say that meaning he's not that talented, but I think he should go like a mile and a quarter. I think they should really stretch him out. I know he sort of faded there. So people might say, as I'm watching the video, people are going to say, well, Howard, he faded there. Why do you want him to go longer? Because he's chasing. He was asking a lot out of the gate. I'm watching right now. The jock was asking very hard. I just think he needs slower paces, and that's what longer races do. I almost think he'd be more effective at a mile and 1/8. I don't know. We'll see. What would you do with him, Andrew?
I kind of think that the PETA would be nice for him. I wish there was this horse would be perfect if it was at Golden Gate. They were still open, like running at the top level at Golden Gate, for Calbreds and whatnot. But yeah, no, I think like something that I mean, it's not turf. It doesn't have turf for him, but just something that can help him plot along and carry his speed and whatnot. That the little bit that he has, and and the numbers are there. So I mean, it's not like the horse doesn't have ability. I mean, running in there 90 buyers is pretty impressive enough. So he just needs something to, I don't know, get his head straight,
Yeah. He's just, he's a frustrating horse, I'm sure. Kevin Lux wants me to share the remaining legs of my $80, $5 pick 4. Sure. I will tell everyone. Maybe, I could show it on the screen, but I got to be careful because we got a lot of pirates out there. Just kidding about that. I can show it on the screen here. Is this? No, that's my turf pick 3. Hold on one second here. I've got to find it. I'll get it for you, Kevin. But ticket structure, here it is. Ticket structure is so important in this game. I don't know if this is through. Let's see if people can see that. I'll just say what it is because it's a little bit hard to see. So my $5 pick 4, I singled the 5. I've got 3-9, Kevin. I'm going 3-9, sort of chalking out in the next race. Then in the Pacific Classic on this $5 pick 4, I'm going 3, 6, 7, 9. I'm using Finger and Navajo Warrior as the only speeds, and I'm using what I think are the 2 best closers in Original Sin and Hit Show. Do I have confidence? Not really. I mean, I'm tossing out the best horse in the race, and there's other horses that can beat me. But that's what I'm doing, Kevin. There 3, 6, 7, 9, and I'm going chalking in the last race 7, 12. So I've got 3-9 with 3, 6, 7, 9 with 7, 12. There is a $3 pick 3 coming up here, Andrew, that I know a lot of people really like. So we'll have to talk about that as you're going to be on the show here another 25 minutes. Let's get some more comments in the chat, Andrew. Jose Valdivia Jr. likes Hit Show. Me too. I hope to hit this. Good luck, Sandy and Marin. What's up, Sandy? I don't know if that's Marin, California, but welcome to the show. That's a new name I don't think we have seen. Let's see here. I'm just looking at other comments in the chat. We got a lot of people. We got Manuel Vergil, 5899, asking about race 9. Hola, ¿qué tal? Bien, gracias, señor. Thanks for watching the show, Manuel. Greatly appreciate. Again, that race ended 5-8-7 en Carrera 8. Carrera 8, what the results? Cinco, ocho, siete, Emmanuel. Let's see here. Just looking at some other comments in the chat. Okay. I think we're good with those comments in the chat. We have 19 minutes, Andrew, to race 9, and this is the beginning of an incredible sequence here. All graded stakes, late pick 3 there's a $3 late pick 3 here. It's actually one of my favorite bets. I might even do that too. I've been sort of saving. I haven't bet $1 all week, and I've been saving till today at Del Mar, which has treated me so far like nothing great, to be honest. Lost some bets earlier. Won a bet earlier in a 2-year-old race that was very good for me. Let's go to race 9. It's the Del Mar Oaks, and I'm going to go ahead and switch some banners here. This is a grade 1. It's for 3-year-old fillies, Andrew. Great job by the racing secretary. It's a big field. Some horses coming in from all over the place. Let's go through the field right now, my friend. It is $300,000 on the line, 1.1 miles. The rails are down. They do come out of that chute, Andrew, but it's still a relatively long run into the first turn. I wouldn't say it's a slow run. And you see I bring up the field of 10. Right now, the favorite, who was the morning line favorite, is a soft favorite, is the number 9, Kensington Lane, Irish bred, D'Amato, and Rosario. D'Amato's actually has, 3 here in the race. Rosario, second choice, very strong second choice, is Tam Tam at 2-1 for Phil Bauer. And Junior Alvarado is in to ride. Kensington Lane, of course, upset the field in the Saratoga Oaks at a price, Andrew, last time, and did it very well, beating what I think are much better fillies than most of the ones in here. I don't think the SoCal 3-year-old filly turfers are that good, to be very honest. But there are some interesting horses in here also, like Green Carrera, who is 9-2 right now for Joseph O'Brien and Rispoli, coming off a very, very, very impressive win at Royal Ascot. And then a little of a disappointing second. Both those races were a mile. Then another horse I've heard some people talk about a little bit is the lowest priced of the local. I'd say local because she raced at Del Mar last time, and that's Rating Party, the 10 horse for Walsh and Ben Curtis, but is a distant 8-1. Right now, it's really a 2.5 horse race based on the betting. Let's go through the details here of the PPs because we do have time for it, Andrew, and we'll get your thoughts. Let's go through race by race. We'll just alternate. Okay. I'm not sure if you're good at BSing, if you're just gonna look at it and just talk, that's fine. I'll go first with Victorious Dream. One of these horses who is not coming out a lot of common races. McCarthy can improve a horse. 22-1 is a big price on an improving horse. She just feels a little bit too slow to me, but she gets the rail. There's upside. JJ, there's worse horses that I've seen at 22-1 in my lifetime for Eclipse Thoroughbred. Here's an easy one for you, Andrew. Looking at Diamond for Leonard Powell, 35-1. Again, has figs that a lot of these have, though, really.
Yeah, I mean, at this price, I don't hate it underneath, but definitely needs to step up a ton to try to win this race. But I mean, lately raced 3-year-old filly for a barn that right now is cold, but has shown to have some good turf runners, and Leopard's always been known to blow up the toe border once in a while anyway, so you never know.
Feels like a lot of Diamond horses are trained by Patrick Bean Cohn. I almost said he was the trainer, but he's not. She finished close to Inbox, who I think a lot of people believe is talented. So we'll see. Now, Tam Tam is a horse we got to talk about. She's a bit polarizing to me. I was there. You were on the show, I believe, for the Stephen Foster Day. It was an awesome day for this podcast and for racing fans. If you recall, the rain came a little bit. There was a scratch or two. The field was not very good, in my opinion. It was only a mile race. That being said, Junior gave her a perfect trip, and she completely embarrassed that field with a buyer top of 93. The question here that you have to ask is can she get 1.1 miles, and What do you think Junior's going to do? Is this a dead send and try to bottom out the field, or would you break and sort of sit and look around and make a decision? Junior's got some decisions to make. I've always thought she's talented. Even if she gets loose, I still question this mile and eighth with her. What say you about Tam Tam? She's drifted to 5-2 as of this moment.
Yeah, I mean, the distance isn't necessarily a problem with me. It's more so how she's going to fit in the pace here. And at 5-2, I mean, I'm using her. I think she's really good. We've talked about this horse plenty of times on Betting and Boozing. I know Kyle Roscoe is a huge fan of this horse. We both watched this horse win at Gulfstream 4 back, so in person, so that's pretty cool. But I think that she can run that race like she did at Gulfstream, where she sits second or third a mile and an eighth. I don't think's the issue. I think if she gets the trip, she can win at any distance from 7.5 to a mile and an eighth, probably being the max. But yeah, no, I think Junior just needs to have this one close enough, and if he gets the lead, he gets the lead. But yeah, just be aggressive and get good position, and I think this one has all the chances in the world.
The one thing you got to like about Tam Tam, I mean, there are several things. On paper, the 1 and 2 are way too slow early. Junior should be able to get to the rail within 4 or 5 strides before the bend. And we talked about this Thursday, Andrew. It's almost, I hate to say guaranteed, but it's almost guaranteed Tam Tam will get a good trip. And if she doesn't have the lead, the question will probably just, can she find a hole late, and assuming the distance is fine. There's a lot of things like about Tam Tam at 5-2. I know a lot of people on this podcast are probably ready to make an irresponsible wager of the week if she stays at 5-2. I don't dislike her. I think she's the second most likely winner in this race. I have 3-9 only in my pick 5, and in my press up ticket I also have 3-9. So look, I'd love to get creative with people at home. These first 2 races, I don't see a lot of creative picks that I can throw out there reasonably. That's going to be the Pacific Classic, so we'll get to that. But Tam Tam is going to take a lot of money here, and I don't know if she's favored in the double. Let me look at that real quick here. Is she favored in the double? I'm assuming not, but she could be. Let's see here. She's not favored in the double. So Kensington Lane's favored in the double and in the pick 3. So Tam Tam will be about 5-2, maybe 2-1, but I would say 5-2 is about right. All right, let's talk about this horse. This is a really interesting horse. Green Carrera. As I see my friend Paul Halloran is jumping on. Paul, just give me a thumbs up when you're ready to actually come on screen. We'll bring you on. All right. Paul's about ready to come on. Green Carrera is a really interesting horse. And as we talk about Green Carrera, let me go full screen, apparent full screen. Bring on my wonderful co-host, Picks and Ponies. He also writes for the Saratoga Special, and he is from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Mr. Paul Halloran, Mr. Stimulate. How you doing today, Paul?
Good. Hey, Andrew, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Paul?
I'm doing
Paul's
great.
pulling the late night shift. I've got the bells, I got the whistles, I got things to keep him awake, the alarm clock.
Coffee.
Got the coffee. All right. Oh, nice, with Cody's Wish on there. Paul also wrote a great book, Cody's Wish, a boy, a racehorse, and a fight for life. Please check it out. Hey, Paul, real quick, we're in the middle of Del Mar, but I just want to get your 30-second reaction on the Boston Spa and the Alabama today at Saratoga.
Well, it's the graveyard of champions, huh? I mean, I thought Sagesta had a really bad trip right out of the gate. I think you commented on our thread. I thought the 5 came over. She was never winning that race. And I used her. She was never winning. And I just, Counting Stars ran unspeakably bad. If you're those folks, you just have to draw a line through it, I think. I think maybe that's Chad's horse could be really good. We talked about that on the show the other night. So she's an up and comer, but I just think Counting Stars, I would like that race to have gone a little faster with her on the lead, but Chad's horse his horse was best today.
There was definitely interesting stuff going on today at Saratoga. Green Carrera, 1-2 back, blew by a big field, although she was on the stand side, which was the better part of the turf course on that day to ask it, Andrew, but did it very well. and then she ran just an Irish Stallions race. It was not like a group race. She was old. She was the favorite. She didn't break great. This horse does not break well at all in the starts I've seen. She's an improving filly though for Rispoli and Joseph O'Brien. She's 4-1. I fully recognize she can win, Andrew. I'm a little bit against her, which probably means you're all in on her or something.
No, I mean I do like her. I mean she's not my top pick. She's probably my second or third choice in this field. But I think she's really good. And Joseph O'Brien's not going to send a horse over here if without high expectations. Just like the other O'Briens that are in the
Yeah.
family. They all only will send over here if they have a reason to, because they have enough wins and races and horses over there that they can make their money. They don't need to send over here if they don't need to. But that Scott race, I feel like, is the type of race that this horse is going to run today, not necessarily the Clonari race, because over in Ireland, a lot of those tracks are very hilly and a lot of uphill on the backside. I mean, I was watching today, and they're all going uphill for the most of the race, and then coming downhill at the end, and they get this big kick. And I think Ascot kind of runs a little bit more like Delmar, very flat, very fast, very firm.
Okay.
And sure, the Ascot's a mile down the straight and no turns, but I just think that this horse can run that race again. I mean, he beat 30 horses before. He could beat 8 or 10 or whatever, So, I mean, granted, Ascot's kind of like the Derby, they're kind of fluky, but running second after that race and going to a whole different country is impressive enough. So I think coming over here is a telltale sign that this horse is probably good enough to win this race, and you get Rispoli in the irons, and I'm using it. I'm not going to fade it, but 4-1 is actually very generous. I thought this one would be more like 5-2, 3-1 range right now. So a little chilly on the board, but nothing too crazy.
She's 0-2 left-handed, Paul. She's a bit goofy. Her lead switches are weird. Quick thought on Green Career, and then I want your opinion on Tam Tam, because I know that's a horse you've bet a lot, and it's junior. But first on Green Career, and then Tam Tam, Paul, and then we'll move on to other horses quickly.
Yeah, well, just listening to you, and you did your usual excellent deep dive. On the surface, it doesn't seem like this is the best location for Green Carrera, based on everything you said about her not breaking and I think, Howard, this is one of those cases where, and I think Andrew touched on the price. I think that might be a little bit of a negative that she is above the morning line. I mean, she's just above it, but we'll see. I mean, I understand this horse is, after this race, is shifting to an American trainer, correct? Did I hear that this week?
I don't know. I actually didn't hear that, but I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think is in Joseph O'Brien's name only today.
Okay. Yeah, she's interesting. I have a few misgivings. Tam Tam, 2 back. I know you were very upset, Paul, when Junior didn't go to lead in the regret. She blew out the field last time, but that was only a mile and it was a weaker field. Is this a dead send for Junior and just take the bull by the horns and try to wire to wire? I'm slightly concerned about the distance with Tam Tam.
I think it's a send, Howard. I don't know what you think. I just didn't think there was a whole ton of speed signed on
there
here.
Isn't. No.
And I'm hoping that it's one of those, if she goes the lead and it's a relatively easy lead, I'm a lot less concerned about the distance. So, I've been on this horse. I think this horse is pretty good. In general, I like, as you know, I like the reverse Horace Greeley, I call it. No, the Horace Greeley, actually. The Horace Greeley. Horses going west on turf.
Yeah.
I think she's pretty good. Now, having said that, there are a lot of ways you can go in here. 5-2 is a little bit of a tepid favorite. So I have no problem with anyone trying to beat her, but I think she's pretty good.
Okay. I think she's good too and can absolutely win this race. She's clearly my second choice. Let's move on, guys. Inbox, we skipped a horse. Inbox has looked very good, but frankly, guys, these California fillies, like I said, they're running buyers in like the low 80s. That's not going to get the job done here at all. And the time form says they're slow. I know Chris Couple said he likes this horse. I mean, she's very honest. She's got a nice kick, but she doesn't not only pace wise, but also just figs wise, she's not good enough. Same thing for peanut butter bomb, Wild Like the West, Kensington Lane. Noah and Jackson made some points. This is my top pick. Noah and Jackson made some points that they'd like to see the last race again. Paul, I'm going to go to you first with this horse. She surprised the hell out of people at 23-1, but she ran, man. I know she got loose on the lead, but she was in hand the last 100 yards. She looked very good to me. Distance is not a problem. And what I like most about her, guys, is there's clear intent by Agave Racing Medallion to send her here, because after that race, they went straight to Del Mar. She's basically running out of her own stall, Paul. She's worked over this track. I know she's 9-5. I know she's the moto horse. I don't care. I think she's going to sit off at Tam Tam. I think she gets a good trip, and I think she's the horse to beat here. I'm gonna put a healthy win bet on her. People might poo-poo that idea, but I like her a lot here, to be honest.
Well, certainly you can't argue with the way she ran in that race, as you say, at Saratoga. Now, of course, this could be a case of missing the wedding and being there for the funeral, Howard.
No doubt.
At 9-5 versus 23-1. I do think that, I don't know it was necessarily their intent to go to the lead in that last race.
I agree with
but
that.
It was available, and to Rosario's credit, he took it. And 48-4. Thank you for shopping. So
Yeah.
I don't think she'll have it quite that easy today.
Your quick thoughts on this horse, Andrew, then we'll talk about the last horse and put the sound on for the race.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this horse wants to be close. I don't know necessarily if it needs to be close, but I think that last race is I don't know. It's not necessarily something I would want a 9-5 out of, where it was 23-1, kind of got an easy lead and held on. Now it comes into a tough race where there's not that much speed, and now it's 9-5. I don't know if that's necessarily good value, but in this field, I mean, this horse still seems like it's step above.
I totally agree with you, Andrew. This is not usually a horse I like, Kensington Lane, in this spot. I just think she's pretty good. And we'll see. Rating Party got a bad trip last time. Actually, she was wide unnecessarily. She ended up finishing third. But Andrew, she gallops out well. I think she likes the distance. If Ben Curtis can work something out, this would be my surprise package if it wasn't one of the more fancied runners, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is actually my top pick in the field. It's a little bit of value. I think that, I mean, look, I always take Ben Curtis and Walsh combo no matter where we go. I think it's one of the most deadliest turf duos in the country. I think the distance is really key here. Horse has been able to break from the 10 hole and make a big run. Has been able to sit close in earlier races in its career, and I just think that lightly raced, and she's in a good spot here. She gets a break from the outside, and if the 9 does go, she'll be able to probably get over real easily because she's probably faster than the 6, 7, and the 8, and even the other Walsh in the 5. And if she can sit third or fourth, I mean, Ben Curtis has no excuses from there.
Quick thoughts on Rating Party, Paul, for Brendan Walsh.
I love Brendan, and I don't dislike Ben, but that horse was way too far back last time, and he does have a tendency to do that. And in this, with the pace flow that we're kind of expecting here, that's not going to work. And especially from that outside post. Mm-hmm. So if this horse is not more forward, I don't like her chances. I used her a little bit, but she's not coming from last in this race.
No, I don't think she'll be last. Jerbear likes the one. Who do you like, everyone in the chat? In the grade 1 Del Mar Oaks, as they are going to be approaching the gate, over $400,000 in that $3 late pick 3. I would go 3-9 with spread with 7-12 very quickly, ladies and gentlemen. And I would use a lot of horses in the Pacific Classic, and I wouldn't necessarily use the 11 Knightsbridge necessarily. I know my good friend at the bottom is probably going to disagree with that, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. Let's see here. Just looking at some people in the chat. Ed Burke is going to use try 6-2 all, 6 all 2. So the 6 and the 2, he's going with some bombs. Good luck with that, Ed. I hate to put this person up because it's Packers, but that's okay. We'll accept anyone here on the show. Packers 2026. 10 is a great pattern. Kevin Lux needs Tam Tam. A lot of people in the chat putting in their opinions. Really good stuff. Sandy Marin, Smartman Howard, you have
The
my
horses
picks.
have now reached the
Good
starting
luck,
gate.
Sandy.
It's post time.
I think the key to this race
They're
is
at
to
the gate
watch
for the Del Mar Oaks, presented by Keeneland Sales.
Well, thank you, Larry. I think the key to this race is to see what Kensington Lane does. I expect her to be forward. I'm hoping she's covered up, though. If she doesn't have the lead, which I don't think she will, I hope someone goes with Tam Tam and somehow Kensington Lane is covered. If she's uncovered 3 wide, I'm going to have an issue. She probably won't win. I don't think she's like a superstar or anything, but maybe she is an up-and-comer. We'll see. They are
And Victorious Dream leads the men.
going into the gate. Let me just turn Larry off here for just a second. Final picks, guys. I'm chalking out. Nothing. I'm going 9-3-10. Andrew?
I'm going to go 10-4-3.
10-4-3 for Andrew and Paul.
3-4-10.
3-4-10. I guess I'm the only one that's sort of fading Green Carrera. I have 3-4-9-10, by the way, in my big pick 4. Pressed up pick 4, I have 3-9. Good luck, everyone, as they are going into the gate for the mile and 1/8 grade 1 Del Mar Oaks. 3-year-old fillies are running for $300K. Larry Colmus has the call live on the HHH Racing
Kensington Lane.
podcast.
Define the next one. Last load will be Rating Party. Rating Party going in. And they're all in line. They're off in the Del Mar Oaks, presented by Keeneland Sales. Kensington Lane comes out well from that outside post and immediately establishes the early lead out of the chute. Will be Kensington Lane to lead early with Tam Tam away running in second.
Pretty easy
Then
lead,
comes
guys.
Define to the
She was
outside.
asked, but she got
Make
there
another
easily.
2 lengths back to Victorious Dream, who's down toward
Tam
the rail.
Tam's at a
just
perfect
ahead of
spot.
Inbox.
Might be 1-2
And
around the
then
track,
looking at
boys.
Diamond.
We'll see.
Peanut Butter Bomb is next by 2, and then Rating Party Wild Like the West and Green Carrera is the early trailer.
24.
Clubhouse turn. Kensington Lane ran a 24.1.
Pretty moderate, right, Paul?
And sets the pace here in
we're
the
out there?
Del Mar with a 2-length lead.
It's walking.
Tam second by 2. Defined is third. Victorious Dream fourth. Inbox is 6 lengths off the lead in fifth. 2 lengths back to looking at Diamond and Peanut
This is
Butter
a headstrong
Bomb.
filly,
Then
guys.
Rating
She's
Party
not
outside of
uncomfortable.
Wild
She's
Like the
just
West,
pulling.
and
She's
Green
just
Carrera is the
aggressive
trailer,
filly,
13 lengths
Kensington
off the
Lane.
lead through a 48.
This is
I
five.
thought
What is
that
this
quarter
5
might be a
doing?
little quicker.
Back stretch. Kensington Lane and Joel Rosario leading
Tam
the way.
Tam, no
3/4 of a
excuses
length
though,
over
right, Paul?
Tam
Really?
Tam. Define is third to the outside.
Well,
Victorious Dream saving every
I'd rather be on. I'd rather switch positions if you don't mind.
Inbox, followed by
No,
Look at
she's
48
got
and
it
1,
turned,
guys.
Bomb is next. Wild Like the
Yeah.
West. Rating Party and Green Carrera.
It's
Around
like
the
Joel's got a
corner,
lot of horses.
Come on,
Kensington
Joel,
Lane
have the horse
continues
here.
to lead the way. And Tam Tam has been second throughout. She's a half
Let
length
this horse
behind.
go.
Then Victorious Dream in third, followed by Define. Inbox is right in behind them as they come to the top of the
Cut the
stretch
corner,
of the
Joel.
Del Mar Oaks. And they still have
Joel.
to come and get Kensington
She's on the
Lane.
wrong lead.
But
That's
here's
weird.
Tam Tam
No.
running up.
Come on,
on
Junior.
Looking at Diamond is finishing.
Come on, Junior.
And then comes Inbox and Green Carrera from the back of the pack. Tam Tam's got
Come on, Junior.
Tam and Junior Alvarado have won the Del Mar Oaks. Looking at Diamond was second. Then a photo between Kensington Lane and Green Carrera.
3, 2, 4. Junior Alvarado and Tam Tam goes right by Kensington Lane. Looked like Kensington Lane had a little bit of lead switch issue. Like Joe was trying to get her going, and she just didn't really go on with it. Let me do this for you, Paul. Let's play that rock music with our buddy Junior Alvarado, and that would be a crush for Paul Halloran and anyone who liked Tam Tam. 5-2, Paul? That's early Christmas present, my friend. Congrats to anyone like you who had Tam Tam. That works very well for me, other than I lost the win bet, but I'm fine with that. Paul?
Yeah, she did. You called it. I just thought the pace was really to the advantage of the 9, but she ran by the 9 like she was tied to a pole.
That was impressive. She got a perfect, like we talked about this a lot, and I don't regret my win bet, to be very honest. I thought Kensington Lane would run better in the lane, literally, Andrew. But we talked about this on the show. That race pretty much went to how I thought in general. It came 3-2. I think the 4 might have gotten third, actually. I don't think the 9 even held on for third. we'll see. But we talked about this Thursday that it sure looked like, Andrew, that Tam Tam was going to get a perfect trip. Either she was going to be on the lead if the 9 didn't go, or she just sit the pocket. She got a great trip. Junior with an absolutely textbook ride, pushed the button, went right on by. And Green Carrera, Andrew, like I said, ran well, but didn't break well, was last into a relatively slow pace. Actually ran very well to finish third, but that's why I didn't like Green Carrera to win this race. I know you're not a huge fan of Junior in general, Andrew. Sorry, Paul. That's how Andrew feels, but you can't really ride a horse better than that in that race for sure.
Yeah, he rode a perfect race, and he's been proving me wrong ever since I've joined this podcast. So I will say that. But no, yeah, he rode his behind off, and hey, I said it earlier that the 2's a good horse underneath, and at 40-1, I mean that 2 ran a huge race for being so lightly raced, and beating some other really good European horses to the line. So 2's definitely, I think, one that you have to look forward to in the Cal-bred area of turf stakes going forward. Very lightly raced for a barn that can get these turf horses home. So yeah, and then the 4, I think, just no pace to come run into. 4 probably ran the second best race in the field. Just had no pace to run into, and finished a tight 4th. And real no excuses for Kensington Lane. I don't know. I thought that 23-1 last time and 9-5 here was probably not the best bet, but I'll take 5-2 in the second leg of the pick 4 here with 3. Hopefully, Tam Tam's the only one Junior wins on the rest of the way. No offense, but because I did talk. Well, I have Knightsbridge, but I'd rather have Finger win. So who knows? But we'll see. But with that being said, I'm out of here. I am going to work, and hopefully you guys cash the rest of the way. So
all right,
thanks for joining us, Andrew. Have a good job at on the show and at work, and we'll see you. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Yep. See you guys.
All right, bye, Andrew. All right, Paul. Like I said, look, I was wrong. Kensington Lane really had no excuse. I guess I had to ask a little bit to get to the lead. I was a little surprised they were that aggressive, but I don't mind it. We're not going to show the replay, Paul, but I don't know if you saw the same thing I did. You were probably watching the 3 more than the 9. But right after they straightened out, like the 9 sort of jinked to the inside as if Junior was having trouble, or sorry, not Junior, as if Joelle was having trouble having the 9 switch leads. I'm not saying she lost momentum or that cost her the race. It was a weird action, and that's right when Junior made his move.
Yeah, but I think with the fractions, you really can't give much of an excuse to the 9. Yeah, like I say, Howard, I don't know what you thought. We talked about it just before the race. It seemed like they were more intent on going the lead today than last time. I mean, they went last time. I don't think any of us expected it to be that easy. And it certainly, that's a dream trip from for Tam Tam. But Tam Tam's a pretty damn good middle distance turf filly. So and the fact that Junior would happen to be out there, he's ridden this horse 4 times in a row. I'm sure Bauer was thrilled.
Look at Sandy, by the way, in the chat. That's a nice exacta right there. I don't know what it pays. Good. We'll find out. But nice job, Sandy, with that too.
1, I bet. So, it's kind of funny. I wonder if Junior might have gone out there anyway without Knightsbridge to ride this horse. $300,000.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so. I don't know.
Well, you just don't.
What about his boy Stimulate? You wouldn't want to stick around for Stimulate?
Yeah, 100%. You are correct. He would not have. You saw my write up on that horse today.
I did.
Now look, he got bet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, that was a Scott Price than a long face. But that horse was a winner every step of the way today.
I'm curious to see if Mott gets aggressive and they nominate for the Penn Derby, Paul. But that's a whole other discussion for another time. Tam Tam ran well. Now she did get a perfect trip. I would say this field was okay. I mean, let's be honest. 7 of the 10 or 12 horses are just not great. They're the horses are running locally. To be very honest. That being said, Tam Tam is good. Will she face older Paul next time now in New York? Like, I don't know what's the longer race for fillies and mares, like the prep for the filly and mare turf in New York in the fall. I'm trying to remember what that is.
I think the options now are going to have to go against older.
Yeah.
Right.
I know someone's got opinion. I think he just cashed a win bet. I don't know. Let's bring on the host of Pacific Horse Players. Did a great job with us on Thursday. I think he's gonna be happy. He's smiling. No more.
yeah.
Tim paying $740. What?
Yeah, that was definitely rewarding because the first two spot plays both ran second, so I was a little frustrated from that standpoint. But just the much better animal today, right, Paul?
Much the best, Noah. And you
Well,
continue to knock it out of the park with these spot plays, by the way.
I heard a rumor that Junior flew in for one horse and that was it. That's just what I heard.
That's what we were debating. You know,
Yeah.
Paul said, you know, if Knightsbridge wasn't running, maybe Paul would, maybe Junior would have flown across the country to ride Tam Tam. And I pushed back and said his boy Stimulate, I think he likes quite a bit. They might have stayed there in New York. No, I want to tip my cap to you and Jackson. You guys were right. I was wrong. I'll admit it. Kensington Lane, no real excuses, although she was sort of rushed up early, but the pace wasn't that fast. And we talked about this on Thursday, Noah, and you can confirm. We said if anyone's going to get a great trip in this race, someone's guaranteed to be Tam Tam. Distance clearly not a problem for this horse. Big effort.
Yeah, she ran really well, and it just, like we said, it just seemed like regardless of what happened the first furlong or two, it just seemed like she was going to get a good trip. Now, I think the big question was whether Joelle was going to be able to get over that from that position. I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't a little worried when Kensington Lane was able to secure that front end position pretty easily. Tam Tam, there was a point on the far turn where I kind of thought she was done. Not done, but just wasn't going to get there. But you know, it kind of took a little time to get into high gear, and she was able to run her down. And I don't really find any true excuses for Kensington Lane. I mean, I thought she got a pretty good setup.
I'm watching the replay right now. She got a little goofy, like her loss when she on the turn. I'm watching again, but really she just didn't. She didn't have it. She's not a big filly. Tam Tam looks like a more robust filly to me. Green Carrera did what I thought she would do, Noah, to be honest. Ran a massive third, almost fourth. But like we talked about on Thursday, Jackson's like, I need more intel. I tried to give, I mean, I was right and wrong in this race. I was wrong about Kensington Lane. I was correct about Green Carrera. She broke last. She was too far back. She ran a big race, but on this track, when you break slow without a lot of speed, like you got no chance to win. That being said, in the right spot, I think she's staying here in the U.S. We talked about it. She's got talent too.
Yeah, I believe she was a private purchase for Rancho Temescal, so she was really only in Joseph O'Brien's name only. I think they had already, signed the papers or completed the transaction or however it goes. But yeah, probably either going to be in the hands of D'Amato or Glatt. So, I mean, it's great to see horses come over to the West Coast because, I mean, I think there's a pretty perfect example. Our stock out there ain't all that good.
No doubt about it. Okay, we got the big one coming up here. Noah, the early part of the card today was very difficult. I am not alive in the turf pick 3. I am alive in the pick 5 though, Noah, and I do not have Knightsbridge in my pick 5. I also played some relatively big pick 4s, including a $5 pick 4, Noah, that I am alive to, and I not without Knightsbridge, by the way, in this $5 pick 4. So even though it's been chalky so far, that could still pay. Let's get into the P Classic, guys. This is why we're here. By the way, we might have Matt Miller might be joining the show a little bit later. I'm not quite sure yet. Let's get in the Pacific Classic, and we'll go ahead and show the field. We got about 18 minutes. I'd like to go through the whole field, guys, quickly, so we will do that. We've been doing that for the other races. No, as the West Coast expert, as I show the field, your general thoughts when they drew the field and you saw 11 horses. I thought, considering a lot of the big boys have run the Whitney and out east, I actually thought this is a pretty good field and an interesting one.
Yeah, it came up pretty good. I mean, you would have told me a couple weeks ago that the field came up like this. I mean, pretty contentious 11-horse field. I don't know if I would have laughed at you, but I would have been, pretty surprised with obviously some of the bigger hitters in the division going out east and defection of Nisos and obviously other circumstances. But I thought it came up pretty good. We talked about it a little on Thursday. It just seems like there's, kind of small storylines with a lot of these horses. A couple Safi runners. Obviously, Knightsbridge is at the top of that list. And you've got the filly down the inside. So, all these storylines coming together, it should shape up to be a good one.
All right, well, let's go through the whole field, guys. We'll just go a little quick snippets. We'll just alternate, okay, guys, like they might do on a network show here. We'll start with you with Almond Joy, a horse that really sort of shocked the world too back in the Santa Margarita when some fillies hooked up. This is a massive, massive step up in class. Also has to go further distance, but look, it's a Calbred 4-year-old fillies in great form. They're gonna see if they can pick up a check here.
Yeah, I think they'd be pretty ecstatic if they picked up a check because she's clearly stung on numbers, clearly overmatched a bit when it comes to class and quality versus these males. Pace scenario looks promising for her. I think that's one of maybe the few nice things that you could say about her. Maybe she'll have the chance to save ground and she likes it here at Del Mar. But if we're being honest, it just seems like she's a little overmatched in here.
Any Kent Somo? Okay, we'll move on. Paul, Forge Steel has been working very well for Safi. We know Safi's capable of winning all over the country. Gold Cup was very impressive, two back at this distance, however, an extremely weak field. And then I don't know why he didn't go forward really in the Suburban. Did not run well there. What do you expect out of Forge Steel? Pretty dead on the board, 18-1 right now. As we bring on, like I said, right now, Matt, are you ready there in the background? All right, as we bring on Matt Miller to the show. Matt, how you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. If I'm being completely honest with you, I went out to dinner. I came home. I turned on UFC. I also turned on your show, and then I heard you say I might be coming on, and I'm like, oh shit! Did I tell him I was coming on? So, by the way, this is somewhat proof that this is legit. Check out what I'm wearing tonight. Howard.
Nice, I like it. Looks good. It looks good on you, Matt.
That was genuinely on either way. So,
wow.
Good to see you guys. Hi.
Thank you. We're going through the field, Matt. You'll happy to comment on some horses. Anyway, Forge Steel, Paul.
Yeah, I think the horse is definitely being sent. I think getting a easy win at 1.25 miles in the Gold Cup might be a little bit of an illusion. You touched on the field, so that Forge Steel will be beating me. If
I tend to agree.
Goes all the way.
I'll talk about finger first, and then we'll let Noah give us the finger. No, not literally, but we do have some Japanese fans, guys. I don't know what that means, but welcome. Welcome to the chat. Finger is an interesting 3-year-old coming in, obviously from Japan. Wants to be 4. The connection said no, they want the lead. I don't know if that's going to work out well. You like this horse a bit. What do you think about the 5-1 right now?
Yeah, we talked a little on Thursday. I felt like this situation was going to arise where he was going to take some money and kind of be the obvious invader. People think he's forever young. He's not. The Japanese have had success over the last couple of years. I don't know. It's one of those rare situations where the money would turn me off because there's a lot of questions to answer. Like you said, the connections are wanting to be forward. If they are forward, it's probably going to prove a little detrimental. When I had originally picked this race on Thursday, I figured he'd maybe be in the second flight, and maybe he can do that. I still feel there's a good chunk of answers that need to be there for him. That being said, I am using him in terms of the pick 3, but a win bet at 5-1, probably a little short for me.
Now, let me get your quick opinion, Matt, because you're very in tune to the markets. There's obviously a lot of foreign money into this race, and we know that the Far East punters like to put some money down here. When you see 5-1 and 8-1 morning line, is your gut say this horse is very live, or maybe this is a lot of foreign interest money coming in? They just want to bet their Japanese horse. What does your gut tell you here?
My gut tells me the horse is live. That's decent money.
Okay.
I don't think that our betting markets are frankly particularly attractive to anybody else necessarily. So my guess is this is actually local money in support of Japanese racing, and this horse looks pretty good on the board at least.
Is Finger? Can someone tell me, guys? Is Finger second choice in the doubles and pick 3s? Can someone look that up for me as we go on to the next?
He is kind of co-second choice with Navajo Warrior, the 9.
Oh, really?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. He's co-third choice. Hit Show is definitely second choice.
Okay. Substandard is a horse, guys. I was a little bit interested at first early this week. Then I watched the works. He's been like all out. I'm fascinated that he's here, guys, because you would think maybe this horse is done, but Mandela was quoted earlier this week saying the horse is working well again and had a foot issue, and it feels like a jolly, as our good friend Davey Lane would say here. If he finishes in the money, I actually wouldn't be shocked on the win end. I just don't see these 27-1. Marlarchek Noah is a horse that ran big numbers last year, but he's clearly not the same this year. Although Michael McCarthy and Rispoli are certainly capable of pulling off something.
Yeah, I think if you would ask them a couple weeks ago, they were hoping that they would be in tandem rooting for journalism in here, which
right.
Obviously the injury in the San Diego prevented them doing that. So, good for them that they've got him out in here. Just seems like a runner that's a bit inferior and probably prefers Lasix, but just inferior in general.
And a replacement for journalism. I think it's an excellent point. I got to talk about this horse, guys. I promise I'll do it quick. If you watch our show on Thursday, you know my opinion. And guys, I felt much better after watching our good friends at DRF. David Aragona put out a video along with, I believe it wasn't with Mike Beer. It was with Gino, I believe. And I was in shock and happy shock when I saw David Aragona actually picked Original Sin on top. And I didn't even know that he did that. Guys, this is my long shot bomb of the day. When I have a moment here in the next 12 minutes, I'll be placing some reverse try keys and insanity win bet. I'm not going to go on forever for everyone, but I just think this one's interesting. This is an improving Curlin, Paul. It's a Curlin. We know all the Curlins like the distance. That last race is a total toss out. The Suburban was weird. It was very speed favoring that day. He was in behind like a cloud of dust. The track was strange. They wrapped up him late, Matt, and I know it says he lost by 18. You could have lost by 12 and gotten a 94 buyer. Would people think differently? I don't know. There aren't a lot of closers in this race that are good, in my opinion, and him and Hit Show are two of them. JJ also has ridden before for Brendan Walsh, ladies and gentlemen, and done it well with prices. Matt, I don't know if he's good enough to win, but I am playing this horse in a race where I think it could collapse. And if it does, Matt, you don't have to run a 105, 110 buyer. He might improve to a 103, and that could be good enough if Knightsbridge doesn't run his race.
Yeah, I'm getting vibes on this one, kind of like the when you started picking Antiquarian. What before Antiquarian became Antiquarian. Mm-hmm. This kind of has those vibes to me. And honestly, if you have any kind of an inkling that a 22-1 shot is live here, I guess from a betting perspective, I would say you got to make a choice. Are you pro Knightsbridge or anti Knightsbridge? If you are pro Knightsbridge, I think your plays are kind of obvious in terms of how to take advantage of both the 6 and the 11. If you're anti Knightsbridge, I don't know. I mean, you got to take your stand, but maybe it's a cluster of, the 3, the 9, the 10, maybe the 7. You take a few horses over your horse for second or third. So, yeah, go for it.
I mean, Matt, the 2 has to go forward. The 3, they said they're going to lead. The 9 wants to be forward. Knightsbridge's forward. It just, of all the races we've seen in a while, guys, big ones, this one sure as hell looks like there's going to be some speed. The other one that's the most established closer, and clearly the best closer in the race, Paul, this horse has almost won $10 million. It's unbelievable. I've never been a huge fan of Hit Show, to be honest. Although his big win where the purse went crazy, of course, was in the Middle East when he won the Dubai World Cup, Paul, but that was a very weak field that day. I probably haven't given Hit Show the credit he deserves. He is logical here if it falls apart. He's already 6. It's a good spot, but 4-1 seems a little light to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Phileas Fogg had everything his own way in that race. So, nothing wrong with Hit Show's race at all. Phileas Fogg just freaked and, like I say, 48-2, 112-2. Yeah, I would agree with you on the price. I don't want to overthink the jockey thing, but I'm not Mr. Giroux's greatest fan as a jockey. I think he's a great guy. Jackson likes this horse. I think he's more of a board horse, Howard.
Okay.
In the way I look at the race, I think I might have used him in the pick 4 defensively. I'd have to check that, but he's not close to my top pick here.
What's your feeling on Hit Show, Noah? Quickly, we'll go on to the next one.
Yeah, since we did the show on Thursday, I've warmed up to him a little just because he just kind of seems like the obvious closer. I mean, he ran fine last time. I do feel the same way in saying that, if you like him, you probably have to like Original Sin too. I just don't think there's a huge difference there. Original Sin is, 5 times the price as of now. We'll see if that really comes to fruition. The one worry I have is something that Paul pointed out. Florent Giroux before today rode one horse at Del Mar the whole meet. It was Chaston for Brad Cox. She's a stalker, and she was last in the Hirsch. So this horse cannot win from last. Flo needs to be more aggressive than he was last time.
I agree. And this horse doesn't have to be like way, way back. It depends on the pace situation. British Isles looks like a no-hoper. I mean, he won sending a handicap grade 1 in the spring, but that was not a strong race. And I don't know. I don't think he really has much of a shot. Navajo War is interesting, Paul. Actually, let me go to you, Noah, because we were watching the Prairie Meadows race, not together, but texting, and you're like, that's how you ride a speed horse. My question is, there's a lot of speed in here, but 3 back, he was able to rate. This is a very interesting horse to me. I didn't like him at first. I'm warming up to him because he's in really good form, and I don't think he has to have the lead. What say you about Navajo Warrior, Noah?
Yeah, I'm warming up too. I think at this point in time, he's a little more appealing than Hit Show, in my opinion. And he can beat you both ways. Like you said, he was effective the last couple times on the lead. The ride on the last time was beautiful. I think Micah's probably going to be instructed to do something a little more similar to the riders of this runner, either 3 back or 5 back, because he's also effective. And he's not going to be too far out of it. The distance might be a bit of a concern with him, but again, I think these horses aren't going to be flying when it comes down to the final 1/8 of a mile. So I think he's a use. I've got him on the pick 3.
I know you like Full Serrano also. No, or Paul will let you talk extensively about Nightbridge, Paul. Quickly on Full Serrano, no, I don't like him at all. You've always loved him, and you like him a little bit here, but he's 15-1. He's won 1.2 million, but distance and age might be an issue.
Yeah, distance definitely. I mean, he got close to him on a quarter in the Pacific Classic from 2 years ago. That is not the same field that he is facing in the 2026 rendition. The one kind of hope that I'm holding on to is he's definitely run his best races here at Del Mar, and he really hasn't had much of an opportunity to run well in each of his last 2 starts. I mean, he was part of a suicidal pace in the Pegasus and then lost all chance at the break of the Oaklawn Mile. And he's had his kind of knick-knack issues here and there. He had a foot issue that ruled him out in San Diego. Just the fact that Sadler's got him here, I think he's kind of been waiting for a spot and knows what he has. Obviously, whether he can get him out on a quarter again remains to be seen. But I've been waiting a long time to bet him, so I'm not going to let him beat me.
All right. Good luck with Full Serrano. Paul, Knightsbridge, clear favorite, even money. I know we're both big fans of Mon Alvarado. I am against him today. What say you if you can take your biased hat off, Paul, with Knightsbridge?
Oh, then I'm bald.
And Matt, I'll let you talk after Paul.
No,
Go ahead.
No, I would say you could make a bunch of cases against them. Other speed, the post, the odds, going the distance for the first time. So, you're probably at even money, you're supposed to try to beat him. I mean, I wouldn't bet him at even money. I got him in the multis in the pick 4. But I certainly wouldn't bet him at even money. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the race shapes up because I'm not so sure Junior is just going to cede this lead if these other speeds want to go. So it'll be interesting. The other thing you have to consider, virtually every 1.25 mile race, I mean, it is an awfully long run to the first turn. So, it's not a question of who's breaking and who's first after 50 yards. He has every opportunity to break okay and still make a relatively easy lead. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we'll see. As I say, I wouldn't bet him to win, but I think he is the most likely winner.
Yeah, I think the long run, Matt, into the first turn is advantageous to Knightbridge. It gives Junior longer to make some decisions, and he is breaking the outside. I actually think it's better that he's on the outside than the inside, where he'd almost be forced to go. Matt, I know you like to play favorites. This is even money. A horse who just ran a 122 buyer off the screen. He's never gone 1.25 miles. You're giving me a big thumbs up. This is a big yes for you.
Well, I mean, the words that sing to me are, we're supposed to bet against this horse at even money. And so that's telling me to some degree that it's still somewhat contrarian to go this direction. I love the post. The horse does not need the lead. I could see this race developing easily where he's in a terrific, nice stalking second position. Yeah, they might be going fast, but I believe him to be the best horse in the race. And so from a post position standpoint, from a pace standpoint, I love where he's situated. And I do, as you try to envision these races and how they're going to go, I picture in most cases me being happy with where he's at. And if he's the best, I think he wins. And I think he's the best.
Look, he's the horse to beat. The 122 is probably more like a 110. It would still destroy this field in general. Guys, I've been down this road a zillion times. He can obviously win this race. He could pull a flight line. I don't see it. In fact, I'm predicting he loses, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see it again against better horses with a lot more speed. Matt has not gone this distance with him ever. There's got to be a reason for it, Matt. And I think this is a great time, Noah. And we could be wrong, but I know you and I feel the same. Different than Matt and Paul, which is great for our viewers and listeners. This just feels like a great time to get massive value on a lot of other horses. You don't get this opportunity in grade ones. Noah, if we're wrong, we're wrong. I'm playing Original Sin big time, a little on the win end, very much underneath. Guys, I'm only 6 and 7 in the pick 5, and I'm 3, 6, 7, 9 in the pick 4. I am not using Knightsbridge in my horizontals, but I will play a backup double Matt 11 into some horses in the next race, just sort of a backup in case he wins. I also am playing 11-6 exacta pretty heavily in case Knightsbridge wins. Noah, give me your top 3 here in what's going to be an exciting Pacific Classic with about 1 minute to post, my friend.
Top 3 would be 3, 7, 10.
Okay, so you're in finger Noah Trust with the Japanese 3, 7, 10. I am going. I'm going 6, 11, 7. I could go 6, 7, 11. Paul, your top 3.
My top 3 in this race, Howard, are 11, 7, 6.
11, 7, 6. Similar to me as their lineup behind the gate. Real quick, Matt, your top 3, please.
I'm with you on the 11, and I'm keying right now bets where the 6 comes in second and third. So I'm right with you on that, trying to take advantage of some value there.
Okay. This is really exciting because this has been a polarizing horse all week long. They are loading the gate. Let me bring Larry Colmus and the volume on. Paul, quick question. I guess it's obvious. If we see some crazy fast fractions, can Knightsbridge lay off those and still win, or can he only win if it's like moderate fractions, no matter where he is?
No, I think he could lay off a little bit if they're going ridiculously fast. But again, I don't think he's going to have to go ridiculously fast with this long run to the turn.
Is he going to have the lead on the first turn, Paul?
Yes.
Knightsbridge. I say no. I don't think he will. All right, guys. This is absolutely fascinating. Good luck to everyone. The Pacific Classic, $1 million, live on the HHH Racing Podcast. One more race left after this, so don't go anywhere. As one more to look,
we are ready for the start.
They're ready to go.
Let them go.
They're off in the Pacific Classic. And Malarchuk comes out strongly, joined on the far outside by Knightsbridge, who will be prominent early. And there, too, is Full Serrano and British Isles as the field races past the stands for the first time. And it will be Full Serrano to take the lead. Knightsbridge well out into the track, running in second. Forge Steel third to the inside. Then
Finger got pinched a little bit,
followed by Navajo Warrior, and to their inside, Malarchuk. Finger is in behind that group, and then comes Hit Show, Subsanador, Enjoy. As they make their way into the turn, Original Sin is the trailer. The opening quarter mile was 22.68 seconds.
It's pretty fast.
Full Serrano and Knightsbridge are making the pace here in the Pacific Classic, clear from Forged Steel. And it's British Isles and Navajo Warrior on the outside. Malarchuk is next. Down toward the rail, Hit Show 6 lengths off the lead. And then comes Speaker and Sub.
Hit Show's not too far back, guys.
Joy and 4 to
Ooh,
Original
45 and 2.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Mile here in 45.45 seconds. And Knightsbridge is taking it to Full Serrano up front. They are nose to nose at an electric pace.
Your buddy's making him work, Noah.
Forged Steel is 2.5 lengths off of them. British Isles
109 and change, everyone.
Navajo Warriors under a ride. Then Malarchuk, Hit Show being ridden too. They make their way into the far
Original
third.
Sin's rolling, guys, but he's pretty far back.
It is still Full Serrano and Knightsbridge, and they've run 3/4 in 109.53 seconds. And these two are 4 lengths ahead of Forged Steel as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Malarchuk is next in Hit Show, and they're still going at it as they turn for home. And Knightsbridge is getting.
Come on, Junior.
Serrano.
That's it.
Knightsbridge has taken a clear lead here with 1 furlong to run.
Come on, Junior.
Into second. The filly Almond Joy is
Come on, Original Sin, keep running for second.
They're now 3rd and 4th, but there's no
Go for second.
winner here. Knightsbridge and Junior
For
Alvarado.
Come on, Junior.
Original Sin got second, and then it was Full Serrano.
Oh, Original Sin got second, Uncle.
Knightsbridge wins. This is a major. It comes 11-6. It's pretty much good for everyone on this screen. Hopefully a lot of people at home. We've got some horns to blow. We've got some sound to make. Let's put it on right now. Let's play it, everyone. Here we go.
Bridge was first.
Holy cow, Howard. Holy cow. Are you kidding me? Are you
HHH Racing Crush live on the show. My goodness. I mean, Knightsbridge wins for Matt and Paul. Mike finishes second. Noah's Interesting Price Horse absolutely ran massive and finished third. We couldn't have knocked that race more out of the park. 11-6-10. And Noah, how about the Cal Filly from the rail with your favorite guy, DeSormo, finishing fourth? I'm only a little disappointed, obviously, with my pick 4. I'm out of the pick 4, but I have a very nice exacta. I have big place in show bets. Original Sin did exactly what I thought, came from the clouds. And if Knightsbridge didn't run the kind of race he did, Original Sin could have won the whole damn thing. 135, guys, for the mile. The final time was slow late, 2:01 and 4. Paul, what a day for Junior Alvarado. Knightsbridge, they went flying early. He was able to sustain it. Are we talking Breeders' Cup Classic now, Paul?
Oh, 100%.
What an effort, Paul. That was a big effort.
Probably with it's good news for Flavian Pratt. I would say Pratt would probably get the mount back on him. He rode him at Monmouth. Junior will ride Sovereignty.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then Baeza. I mean, what they have. The Dolphins got.
It's going to be
three
a
horses
happy
in the
flight.
Classic.
It's going to be a happy flight back to Albany for Mr. and Mrs. Alvarado.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's guys. Look, we're allowed to brag when we hit this stuff. So if you don't want to give dollar amounts, that's fine. Let me just tell you what I have. I've got big doubles into the 7 and 12 in the next race. I had 45 to place on the 6. I had 30 to show on the 6. I have a $25 exacta, 11-6. Unfortunately, I'm out of my pick 4s. I can handle that. Paul, did you have a win bet or what'd you do? Again, you don't have to give us dollar amounts. You're muted. You're muted, Paul.
Yeah, I was listening to Junior, who's
No worries.
no disrespect. I'd rather listen to him than you.
I understand.
I have the pick 4 alive. I hit the exacta. I hit the trifecta, and I'm alive in the turf pick 3.
Wow. Unbelievable. Matt, just slam win bet for you, I assume.
No, actually, you talked me into going a different direction. So
Really?
it was a $500 exacta and $500 worth of losing trifectas.
Holy cow.
Good
The
ex-
exacta, by the way, the exacta is actually a little lower than I was hoping. I think a lot of people were sort of thinking what I was thinking. It 18 for $1.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm
Probably because
perfectly
your
content.
dumbass put 500 and lowered
Yeah,
my.
Howard, we got a guy on the show killing our price. Thanks.
Thanks, Matt. Lowered my exact. I really do appreciate that.
Oh, Dan Tribe's being interviewed.
The
He hates
try
being
paid 52 for 50 cents, which considering was an even money on top,
Wow.
that's not bad. And Noah, I want to give you a tip of the cap, man. I didn't like Full Serrano at all in this race, not even a little
Tough.
bit. Not only did he go to the lead, but he rushed up on the inside on the first turn just to hold the lead, and he held on for third. I thought he ran a massive race. So kudos to you, my friend, for Full Serrano, because I thought he ran big.
Yeah, he ran really big. It looked like at one point he was going to kind of pack it in, and then he almost stuck his neck out in front. So he ran absolutely massive. Probably expect him to see hopefully back at the Breeders' Cup if all things go well and then he stays healthy. But I think the overall takeaway is we, or at least you guys, took advantage of a very formful outcome. I think that in itself doesn't get recognized as much as it probably should.
Can you explain what you mean by that to the people at home that maybe more novice handicaps and bettors? I know.
Yeah, I mean, we all agree Knightsbridge at even money was an embeddable price in the win end. So, I mean, there's other options out there. You can take advantage of the exacta. You can take advantage of the try. The doubles going forward are paying really nice. They actually have a double going forward as well. So I'm I'm not too sad that I got knocked to the pick 3. So there's other ways to benefit from an even money and a very formful winner winning.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that and just say you don't have to just get away from the horse. There are times that's the answer, but there's other times where you can say, can I find other ways to extract value here? And Howard made a really good case for, I don't know. I guess if I had sat here thinking about it long enough, I might have picked a second horse along with Howard's to play for second. So I'm glad I didn't and just focused on what Howard said. But that also would have been a perfectly valid way to play this is, an even money shot over 2 decent price horses. And look, if I had listened to both you guys, I'd be sitting here on top of the exacta and the try right now. So a little bit I'm regretting that.
Yeah, my only regret, well, I don't really have a regret. I suppose I could have played more on the exacta, but I didn't like Knightsbridge. So why am I playing more on the exacta I don't like?
Right.
I had tries without Knightsbridge and original sin. I don't have the try because if Knightsbridge had won, I decided I didn't want 11-6X. I was just happy to take the exacta right there because I didn't want to be wrong, guys, on someone coming in third. So instead, I played tries without Knightsbridge with the 6 and second. Not big ones, but I don't know if that's the right thinking. But I'm really happy for a lot of people right now. I'm a little bummed I'm out of the horizontals, but you know what, Noah? Right now the pick 4 is 7-5, 5-2 even money. I don't want that anyway. So I don't really want that, right? Paul,
Knightsbridge is going to kill those payouts. That's a real tough one. I agree with you. I'm not sure unless I was super skinny in the other legs and I'd really pressed up a ticket. I'm not sure I'd be that psyched to be alive.
Noah Finger, by the way, wanted to go forward and just got pinched at the wrong time. I don't know if he would have been better if he didn't get pinched, but your quick thoughts. I mean, I'm assuming you don't regret your pick. It just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, no, he just didn't run well. Was getting a lot of dirt thrown in his face. I didn't think that would be much of a problem, but probably led to him not running all that well. It just kind of seemed like down the backside when he was 7th or 8th. It seemed like it was very unlikely that he was going to run well. So.
Yeah, I'll be curious if they stay here. I don't know what they're going to do with him. So yeah, that was a cap horse for what did Original Sin pay to place, guys? Did he get bet down?
$12.
Oh, 12 and 740. That's fine. By the way, I was watching only 2 things really, guys, the front end and the back end. Juan Hernandez gave as good a ride as possible on Original Sin he possibly could. He took back, he saved ground the entire turn, he split horses. At the top of the stretch, Noah, he had to make a decision, and he went to the outside. I don't know if you guys are watching the horse. He went to the outside a little bit and split. The horse never lost momentum. My cap to JJ Hernandez, gave an absolutely perfect trip on Original Sin. That's a career top for him, and he's probably bet against next time. But you just got to find the right spots, right? Noah and Matt. It's just everything is situational, right? It's all situational.
Yeah.
He goes to just dead last by a mile. And all I'm thinking is, like, I just passed on my chance to bet on Nicebridge, to bet on Howard's horse instead. And then at some point you say, like, oh, he's really moving well. And I'm looking and I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? But yeah, you saw it probably a good second or two before I did. And that horse was rolling.
Anthony Kwan, that's why we believe in myself. Exact and trifecta
Nice.
kaboom. Congratulations, Anthony. Let's see. Pat's in the chat. I'm not sure what this means. Pat, you're gonna have to clarify. Hashtag overrated. If that's actually, I'm assuming that's Pat. I'm not sure what that means.
I know what it means.
Oh, something else. Okay.
No, it was once stated by someone we love, a misguided person, that Mr. Alvarado was overrated.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
and
right.
he just lifted his right leg on that theory.
Yes.
Yeah, my pick 4 is alive. We just got a lot of great compliments. Look at Jay out, Matt. Here we go, Matt. I told you shouldn't have given out that number. Matt's fault on the payout.
Sorry.
Matt, very nice. Was that? That's a nice payout for you. That's
I'm glad
really
I
nice.
noticed you guys were on. Honestly, that's hysterical.
Matt, I'll be waiting for the checks in the mail, so I'll be waiting for it. I appreciate that.
We had dinner yesterday. We had such a nice time. Why do you have to do that?
That's true. I don't need anything. I'm just happy that you won. I wish I played the exacta more, but I didn't. Let's see. Gary Slayton had the exacta. Oh, needed
Nice.
3 of the 7 for third. Ouch. Did Hit Show? Did you guys see? He was in a good spot. He just didn't sustain.
Keep playing Florent Giroux in those races. That's a good idea.
I think he might be done.
I mean, he gave him a good ride. I mean, the horse just didn't go on. He was in a good spot. I'm watching it now. Maybe he was up too close, guys. I mean, he was up relatively close.
He just didn't move.
I just don't think he's that good anymore. I'm talking about Hit Show, not Giroux. You can. I mean, honestly, guys, the only 2 horses, and they were coming from way back. I'm Enjoy and Original Sin, guys, the only horse that made any move at all from the back of the pack. We still have one more race left, and we have 20 minutes, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We all agree. Noah and Matt, you also agree he's definitely going to the Breeders' Cup now, Classic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And what is he?
Which is in 70 days, which happens to be the number of days between Cody's Wishes Forgo in the 2022 Breeders' Cup. I read that somewhere.
Yeah, most of us remember that just offhand like
that. Paul, you know this horse, you know Junior, you know the connections. The timing here is a little bit weird. I can see them resting up for the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Oh, 100%.
I also could see them running one more time. What do you think?
No, with the cross-country trip, I don't think so.
We got Junior. They're interviewing Junior right now. Let's put him on, guys.
Pace pressure. Were you concerned things were going too quick?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Yes, I thought, when we turned when we got to the first turn, I thought we were moving along pretty well, and then in the backside, my horse switched lead to the right, and that's when I kind of want to give it a little breather, and Joel's horse kind of engaged a little bit again, and then my horse kind of went on with him, and I was a little worried we were going a little too fast for for what we wanted to go, for what I like to go, but at the same time, he wasn't like he was overly trying there. He was kind of skipping over the ground, and at that point I still had my hope that when I asked him, he was going to give me his best, and that's what I did. Right when I turned for home, I mean, he was just all hard for me there.
Even watching the replay in the final 16th, you didn't really ask him. It's amazing. He looked like he had a little bit left even.
Yes, I mean, that's what I was just telling, actually, Kenny, the assistant trainer. Like in the gallop out, I couldn't even pull him up. I mean, he was still strong going out. So, he's a horse that, had a lot of talent. And, Mr. Mo have, done such an amazing job with him, taking it all the way from 6 furlong all the way to a mile and a quarter now.
2 Grade 1 wins at Del Mar. How do you celebrate tonight?
Well, we're gonna celebrate it going back to New York tonight in the red eye fly.
There you go. They'll celebrate on the red eye. Unbelievable ride. I just watched the replay again, guys. The stretch run. He only flagged him a few times, Paul.
Yeah.
This is an amazing job by Mott, because look, I was wrong. I didn't like him today. No, you didn't like him today. I don't know what's taking them so long or what changed in this horse, because they never really thought he was this kind of distance horse, even though I know the breeding said it, but he still never did it, Paul. What can you point to anything in particular that, his ability now to get 10 panels and beyond?
Well, I think what Bill said was the Monmouth race really came up at the perfect time. It didn't really interfere with any other plans. The plan was to go to the Forgo. He would have been running at Saratoga next Saturday at 7 furlongs, but and he obviously could have gone to the Forgo off that Monmouth race. So that was the chance to try him at 2 turns. And, look, he ran second in the Met Mile. I don't think there's a dirt horse in the world that was beating Nisos that day.
No.
So it's not like he ran some terrible race. He did not. The Churchill Downs Mile was kind of the head scratcher. That's the race. He just did not
tell
run
Jackson
well.
about that one. That one.
Yeah.
Well,
Jackson put his
Paul,
biggest win bet ever on that horse.
Paul,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Paul, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm completely with where you're going on this. That in my opinion, the horse had one bad race on his form. The loss to Nisos gets excused, and the rest, he looks like a monster, and he's a monster that's getting better and better. And yeah, I listened to what you said before, and I think the only hesitation I heard in you was price, not if.
Oh yeah, no, I liked it. Like I say, and playing him, I played the exacta with Howard's horse and screwed around a little, and I didn't have to play him to win. If I was in a contest situation. Now I also didn't think, I didn't think he'd get all the way down to even money because there was a lot of smart people who were against him. Frankly, Nick Tamaro, who I respect immensely, was dead against them. Aragona, who Howard talked about, who I think is as sharp as anyone, dead against them. So there were a lot of Howard Kravitz. You may have heard of him. He runs a podcast. He was dead against them. Noah Mar, who's better at Del Mar than anyone, is dead against them. So, but yeah, Howard, you touched on it. Bill is just, it's just unbelievable. It's going to be fun to walk down the side of his barn next Thursday morning and see Knightsbridge and Sovereignty a few stalls over from each other.
Yeah.
No doubt. I'm chuckling because I'm looking at the tip sheet that I gave out, Original Sin. No, I had 7 horses in third in the trot. I didn't have Full Serrano in third, and I had Almond Joy in third, believe it or not. So sorry, tip sheet people on the try, but I did give out a nice exacta there, and etc. Noah, last thing, and then we'll go to the last race. So we got another great stake, guys, to go here still. Keeneland very well. Breeders' Cups at Keeneland. Speed plays well everywhere. 1.25 miles at Keeneland, Knightsbridge, depending on the field. You got to think he's a serious player now at this point.
Yeah, especially with the lack of speed, it seems like in the classic division. Outside of Magnitude, I don't think there's really any, confirmed front runners. I saw Napoleon Solo was confirmed for the Travers. I think whether he runs well in there or not can maybe dictate things. Maybe we see a little more pace in the classic. I want to kind of put a bow on the whole, trying the long distance conversation. You got to remember, Bill only ran him 5 times in 2 years. So clearly there were some health issues. And then once he finally got everything in order, he took advantage of all the opportunities he could at Gulfstream. He saw this spot looks good, we'll run him there. This spot looks good, we'll run him there. This spot looks good, we'll run him there. I think at some point he finally got him to a point where, okay, he's what I thought he'd be. Let's try this, let's try that. And, obviously he was a horse that was bred to run all day. And I think he's finally becoming what Bill hopefully intended he would.
It's a great point. Paul, did he not? I think he had some foot issues. I'm trying to remember what his little nagging issues were early in his career. I can't recall. But whatever they are,
I'm not
you
sure.
get over them.
I'd say he's over them. And how we talked before the race, and not because I said it, but it worked out exactly as I thought. He did get to the lead. He didn't. They were going fast, but he wasn't being ridden like a quarter horse to get to the lead. And you know what? As fast as they were going, Howard, when I looked up on the far turn and Ford Steele was third, I think at one point, and they were like 5 lengths in front of him.
Yeah,
I said, I was more concerned with putting away Full Serrano, to be honest with you, than anyone else coming from behind.
I'll put a bow on this and let's move on. I don't know if he's going to have to deal with that kind of speed in the Breeders' Cup, although the magnitude connections cannot be happy right now. That's my one thought. The other thought that I can't help, guys, but if Sovereignty and whoever else, and maybe in Golden Tempo and a Renegade was in that race we just watched, I got a feeling Knightsbridge would be all out to win that thing. There weren't any very good closers in that race, and I'm not taking away from Knightsbridge. I'm just simply saying the field and behind him, guys, was not Breeders' Cup quality, obviously. So that's the only point.
It felt
Sorry,
like
Matt,
one
go
where
ahead.
he kind of. It felt like one where he kind of ran them off their feet, and I'm just not sure
Yeah.
they would have gotten there. That was just
Maybe not. No, I'm not saying he would have lost. I'm just saying he would have been all out. He would have had to work really hard to win that.
Well,
race.
put it this way: at Del Mar, I would have liked his chances.
Yes, I agree.
And
let's go to Del.
Noah brings up a good point, about Keeneland. Mile and a quarter or no, his style is going to fit just fine in Lexington.
Howard, if I may, if Golden Tempo loses the Travers, doesn't this Horse of the Year conversation become very, very interesting?
Yeah, basically, I think it's the winner of the Classic, Noah.
Feels like whoever wins that race is probably getting that award.
Yes, although if Golden Tempo finishes a good second, I think Golden Tempo would have to throw a bit of a clunker to be off the Horse of the Year conversation or have others move up. It's interesting.
Well, he can't lose the next two and win it.
No. But
I don't know. I'll tell you what. Let's approach that conversation maybe after this race, guys. The Del Mar Mile, Grade 2, last race. It's on $300,000 on the turf. You see the field right now. The favorite is very soft and it's Detained. Oh my goodness! Wow, that surprised me. The number 5, Noah can't hold back his laughter at 7-2. I don't get this at all. I don't get this at all. Not even a little bit. Second choice as of now is between El Patente and Keanu Gosford. Almendaris is 6-1. No, am I just getting old or like what the hell? What is going on here? Almendaris is 6-1. I think he should be 7-2. And Detained should be 10-1. These odds are wacko. Although I'm not looking at the doubles and the pick threes. Let's just go. We're not going to run through every horse here as we have about 12 minutes ish. What do we got time wise here, guys?
9.
Okay, let's just go right to our top choice and horse you want to talk about. No, who do you like in the Del Mar Mile? And let's just go right to that horse first.
Yeah, I like Almendaris. According to the doubles, pick threes, and horizontal wagers, I think he's going to come down a bit, probably in the 4-1 to 92 range. If you look very closely at his form over the last couple of years, I think his best races are here at Del Mar when he goes a mile. He's been in this race a couple of times, even though he's been unsuccessful in 3 career tries in this race. Try number 4 today. He hasn't won, but he's run very, very well in each of those races. Lost to Conclude a couple times, lost to Formidable Man last year. Formidable Man's obviously very good McCarthy runner. Won the Wicker on this turf course about 13 months ago. So yeah, clearly his best races are here on this Del Mar turf course. Thought the Ed Reed was a bit preppy. He was super rank inside, a little maybe closer than he preferred. He actually hit the rail even at one point, so it just seemed preppy. He was a little flat in the lane. Cuts back to a mile. Fraser stays aboard. I'm pretty confident that he's going to be able to get a hold of him this time and come with his one run.
He's such a cool horse, Noah. I mean, he's 18 for 25 in the money. He never runs a bad race. The problem is he does come from a little bit further back, and he's always dependent on the trip and finding the right hole at the right time and the pace a little bit. But he's a real honest horse. He's my second choice. I like him quite a bit as well. Paul, who's your top choice in the Del Mar Mile?
I'm with Noah. I like the 7 a little more than I like the. I like the 9 a little bit, but I like the 7 a little more.
Okay, let's talk about King of Gosford. This, I believe, was Jackson Muniz's top choice on our show Thursday. 8 for 21 in the money. Real nice horse. A bit inconsistent at times. Can be forward, can close. Hasn't really proven it at the grade stakes level, although did win the Shoemaker Mile, grade 1 last year. But I think actually won the grade 2. So I take that back. Has won 2 grade stakes, taking a lot of money. Rispoli, D'Amato, very little not to like.
Yeah, it's his distance. He's another one. Noah talked about Almendaris being a kind of a horse for course. This one is 2 wins, 2 seconds, and 6 starts. Rispoli for D'Amato. So yeah, I'd be very happy with either D'Amato winning here.
Yeah, D'Amato's got how many in this race? I got to go back to the.
Oh, I need the 7 or 9. So if he's got others, I would
No,
not.
yeah, he just got the 7 or 9. Okay. Matt Miller, did you look at this race carefully? Do you have an opinion?
I do. Well, carefully, not so much, but I do have an opinion, and it's for 2 reasons. First is just from a pure betting standpoint, El Patente got a fair amount of money in every single pool. And, just as for those that haven't heard me say it before, I tend to weight that pick 4, that pick 3 pool more than the double pool. And, that just shows the horse was being bet that much further out. And so, yeah, a pace forward horse that I think is going to be on or near the lead. This feels a little bit like the last race almost, where I said, I just kind of want to be out there. I'm not sure I care that much if it's in first or pressing, but I can picture this horse, not nearly with the speed figure, but a similar type of trip to what you just saw with Knightsbridge. I wouldn't be shocked to see it. Just again, a little slower and a little less dominating.
Favorite in the double, favorite in the pick 3. I think that we're going to see 3-1, 5-2 post time, Matt.
I do too, and the horse that I would be playing with him is Cabo Spirit. That I almost think they're going to be somewhat of a duo, where I think Cabo Spirit will probably have the lead. And if my horse can't go by, I want mine for second or third under Cabo Spirit.
Interesting. A speed horse, fly over the number 10 is a very quick horse. Noah, I was higher on El Patente earlier in the week. When you really look carefully, this horse definitely regresses off of long layoffs. Now, I mean, he hasn't had a lot of layoffs, but when he went August to June, obviously something happened there, and he was a very young horse. He only ran a 90. The 96 was only like a 2-month layoff. When he went February to November, he only ran a 93. He's 7 now. If I had to, if someone said, Howard, pick the horse you like for $1 million to win, I think I'd switch to Almendares. I know El Patente is on my tip sheet, Noah, but I don't know. I am not 100% sure I trust him off the layoff. I could be wrong.
I would prefer a different race if you gave me that deal for $1 million. This is a tough one to pick anyone for $1 million.
Well, I think the most maybe non-appealing thing about him is probably the layoff, right? Horses get old; they're just not super fresh when it comes to running off layoffs. But Matt made a great point. The scratch of the 10 is absolutely massive because it doesn't only help the 12 El Patente, but it also helps Cabo Spirit. Cabo Spirit is most likely going to be able to get to the lead pretty easily, and for El Patente's case, he's probably going to be able to tuck in a little easier than he would have if Flyover was 2 paths down.
That's a good point. I didn't even mention the 10 scratch. Did that just happen? When did that happen?
It happened this morning.
It did. Okay, that's a major scratch. Yeah, I buried the lead there a little bit. That does hurt Almendares, doesn't it? Just a little bit, I would say.
A little.
We'll see. Let's talk about Detain, Noah. Now look, the doubles in pick 3 say the horse is going to go up. I don't understand it. He did beat Charlie's to Blame, but Charlie's to Blame didn't run that well. I thought today was a little disappointing. Was dead on the board at 5-1. I guess it's the up and comer fresh face for JJ and McCarthy. Like, I understand why would take some money and sort of be the wise guy, cheeky horse, but 7-2 wise guy. This seems silly to me. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, this is wild. Let's see. He's the 7th fastest horse on Bayer. He is the 8th fastest horse on Timeform. And if you watch the replay, if he would have saved any more ground last time, he would have knocked off the temporary rail. So that trip was absolutely perfect. He also faced a field. Some of those runners came back earlier in the day and didn't really run all that well.
Yeah.
Charles to Blame had a perfect trip. War at Sea was disappointing. And he beat him by length and quarter, but he's really going to have to step up his game. I know people that are singling him. I know people that hate him. I am in the hatred camp.
Matt, he's like 5th, 6th choice in the doubles and pick 3s. At first, I was like, well, maybe someone just put a big win bet, early in the market that affected his odds. There's 4 minutes left. He's still 3-1. So
Yeah.
we could be very wrong about this horse. This
Yeah,
horse, this horse could win and probably going to run a big race, I would guess.
I agree, and there could be a million reasons for it. He happens to be the top equine edge pick. I'm sure that accounts for it a little bit. They also predicted his odds were going to be substantially lower than the morning line, so maybe it shouldn't be such a surprise. But again, I tend to follow the real money. The will pays far more than anything else.
I want to mention some people in the chat are like, who's your original sin horse in this race? If I had to go a little bit of a price, for me, it would be the number 2 Seal Team. I've always had a thing for this horse, Noah. He doesn't get the job done often, but look, the buyers are right there. The time form's right there. Rosario's riding well. Cabo Spirit's going to go right now, so he's going to get an inside trip. I don't think he's be that close. You could do worse 12-1s. I wish he won more often, but geez, I mean, he fits, doesn't he, Noah?
Yeah, I don't think he's impossible. Probably prefers to go a mile more than a mile and an eighth. I think that's a pretty valid case there. Got some success at Del Mar, so I wouldn't talk you off. I think I am like, there's a horse in that realm that I would pick. It would be him, but I would go with the 11 Twirling Point, who ran pretty bang up race last time. You can make the case that he ran just as well, if not better, than King of Gosford. And if you'd like King of Gosford at 9-2 or 5-1, and you're getting, no pun intended, 6 or 7 times the price on this runner, who obviously needs a bit of a setup, but so do other horses like Almendaris and whatnot. So I don't know if he's as much of a win contender as some of the others, but if you're playing exacta or tries, I'd seriously consider him.
You got a sneaky horse in here, Paul, that you would throw out there for the fans?
I would love for you to be right about the 2.
Why is that, Paul? You got something going?
I got him in all the horizontal. No, I got him in the turf pick 3. I got him in the pick 4, and I got him in the regular pick 3.
Hey,
boy. What'd you see, Paul? Let's go back to that, and we'll go to the sound. We got time. We got like 2 minutes here.
Yeah.
Was there something you saw in particular?
I thought the numbers fit, as you pointed out. He's kind of been losing to these horses, but he's been right there with them. Honestly, in listening to a whole bunch of stuff this week, when Tamaro and Aragona land on the same horse, I take note. So that didn't.
They like this horse too.
They both mentioned this horse. Nick likes the 7 as well, and Aragona likes the 9 a little bit as well. But they both mentioned this horse. I think you bring up a good point about the trip. But I'll tell you who I think benefits also from the scratch, and I have him, is the 9. I think they get to be a little forward now with the 9, and especially with D'Amato needing some pace for his 7 to run into.
I think so. They're loading in the gate. Charlie Freeman said the same feel about CL Team. Yeah, this is a wide open board. Guys, Detain is still the favorite. This is boy. Well, I'm going to be extremely wrong. I just played CL Team underneath some tries. They're loading the gate, ladies and gentlemen. Do not leave right after this race. We'll just go on for a minute or two about what we saw today. No, I want to hear some Clouseau comments from you from earlier today as well. But it's the Del Mar Mile Grade 2 wide open board HHH Racing Podcast. Last race of the day at Del Mar. Larry Comas will bring us home in this mile grade state.
They're all in line.
The 12 is now co-favorite.
They're off in the Del Mar Mile. And Cabo Spirit goes straight out to the front from his inside post. Freedom's Not Free's going to go with him. So too El Potente on the outside, and they're clear of King of Gosford, who's away running in 4th. Astronomer is 5th. Then comes Detain. Break of another 4.
No excuse for El Potente.
Exactly what we talked about.
Why is Almendaris last, Noah?
It is Cabo Spirit. Mike Smith making the pace in the Del Mar Mile. They're on top a length and a half to El Potente in second through a 23.09 opening quarter.
12 is now favored.
He is 3rd.
It's honest.
It's King of
Not
Gosford
crazy.
on the
It's
outside.
honest.
Break of 2.5 to Astronomer. Then by Detain up the backstretch. And Detain's about 7 lengths off the lead. After that, Twirling Point. Sissel in behind them. Then Artislas.
I like where Gosford is.
Team is
Got
second
no
last.
excuse.
Almendaris is last
4th.
of them all. 14 lengths from top to bottom. 47.08 for the half mile.
Not that fast.
Cabo Spirit and Mike Smith head into the far turn in front. With El Potente 2 lengths behind in second. Freedom's Not Free and King of Gosford in behind them. Then Astronomer. On the rail,
Come on,
it's Twirling
Potente, you
Point
got no
still
excuse
6
here.
lengths behind. Detain in behind that
Just
group
gotta
with
beat the
Cecil.
9, I think.
Tislas is going up outside of them.
Just
Capital Spirit
like
keep on going.
this.
He's going to turn for home with a
Whoa,
four-length
what
lead
happened
of the
there?
Del Mar Mile, drifting
wide
to the
again.
center of the track. Cabo Spirit, the one to catch. El Potente is second. King of Gosford is third. Then Detain, Astronomer. They're coming to the last 16th of a mile. And
Oh, here
coming up
comes
the pace, it's
Detain.
El
God
Potente.
bless.
On the outside, Cabo Spirit between them. King of Gosford. King of Gosford got there. And the Del Mar Mile. Detain came on late. He got second. Then El Potente and Cabo Spirit.
Wow.
9, I believe 5, 12. King of Gosford. Paul, what a day for you, my friend. I don't know.
5-1.
I don't know what Paul won today. 5-1, and congratulations, by the way, to Jackson Muniz, who also had this horse. What a perfect trip.
Terrific.
Cabo Spirit went into like the 6th path off the turn, and I don't know if that was good or bad for Gosford. Maybe wouldn't have mattered. Detain ran a massive race, like we said, lost by a head. It comes 9, 5, 12, 1. I have absolutely no idea why Almendaris and SEAL Team were second to last and last based on the pace scenario. Very poor rides, in my opinion. King of Gosford, Paul, great ride, wins just barely, however. Wow.
Well, I don't think there's a point spread involved.
No. Wins by a neck, between neck and a nose.
He won by less than a neck.
Great ride, Paul. Had him in 4th. Do you think, Paul, that when the one drifted wide in a weird way, it actually hurts Al Potente because he had to move a little bit early to secure the inside, or no?
I think it helped Gosford, because it looked like he was going to have to go the overland route, and he was able to come in between. So I think it helped him. I think what you said on the far turn is right. No, I don't think there's any real excuse for El Potente in that race.
No, I think no. I guess the layoff got. I mean, he lost by a length, but when it's in a mile race, it's a very small margin for error. He might want to wait it a little bit and sort of couldn't wait because when the one drifted out, but he got beat. No real excuse. He also took a ton of late money, Noah.
Yeah, I mean, if he's on his A game, he wins that race probably. Not handily, but by length and a half. But it was a great call by Paul. I kind of probably fell into the trap. We were talking about it more and more in the pace scenario. I'm like, well, Almendaris is probably going to have a lot to do when they turn for home. Sure enough, that was the case. I mean, it was last. It didn't have much chance from there. King of Gosford, brilliant ride by Rispoli, and dare we say 5-1 was a bit of a gift. I know you had to sweat it out, but boy, 5-1 looks pretty appealing right now.
Yeah, I think that scratch of the 10 really helped King of Gosford. Really hurt Almendaris, but Almendaris shouldn't have been last though. No, the source, he's not like a dead closer. He's like usually mid pack to maybe 2/3 back. I just don't understand why they took him back. Paul, this is for you, my friend. What a day, Paul! Wow, really good. You cashed on a lot of things there. It sounds like the turf pick 3 and the pick 4 ended up paying okay. King of Gosford would have been my third choice in this race. I got everything I wanted out of Original Sin, so that's fine. I'm happy for the day. Breeders' Cup Mile with King Gosford, Noah. I mean, and I guess Detain we got to talk about too. We're in a massive race, Matt. The board knows, and the horse had to come from a little bit further back. Detain is one to watch going forward. I mean, I assume what's the mile prep race at Santa Anita for the Breeders' Cup on the turf, Noah? Do you know off the top of your head? It's not the Kilrow. I'm not sure what it is, but I would assume he'll go to that race, right? King Gosford will probably go there. Maybe we'll see any of these horses you think would come to the Midwest for the what is it, the Shadwell Mile? Is that what it is in the fall? I always forget the name. I confuse the spring and fall names.
Yeah, the Coolmore Turf Mile.
Yeah, any chance any of these horses would go there? Or they'd stay out west, or?
I would assume most would stay out west. You might get kind of a weird player like Cabo Spirit head out there. Remember, we saw Georgie shipped him to Kentucky Downs. He's actually been there a couple of times. So
yeah.
If he showed up in a race like that, I wouldn't be surprised. If anybody else went out there, I'd probably be pretty surprised. Although Phil will send some out there here and there, maybe to get a run over the track. And King of Gosford, maybe you see him before he makes his way into the Breeders' Cup because he's got the free paid berth. But in a weird way, if anyone does, I think it might be Cabo Spirit.
I think we might see deterministic in that race, by the way. Just saying. We'll see. Assuming he goes the mile route, not the turf route. Guys, fun day. What a great show. We had several hundred people watching the whole time. Let's just put a bow on the entire day. No, I want to start with you. First, real quick, you and I both liked Clouseau earlier today. It was in the first half of actually, it was right before we came on. Hang job or just pure, the 5 was just better?
I think both can be true. With that being said, at the 3/8 pole, I thought he was going to go by. At the top of the stretch, I thought he was going to go by. At the 8th pole, I thought he was going to go by, and he never went by. Yeah, he might have hung a little bit. I still thought the winner, Pure Madness, ran pretty well.
I thought so.
Yeah, the 5-year-old.
I thought Clouseau ran his race. I just think the 5 was just better on the day, to be honest.
Yeah, I was kind of licking my chops at that price we were getting at Clouseau. Couldn't go by.
The old Noah tip sheet second place finish, but no, you did a great job of handicapping though today, and had some real, including absolutely crushing. What was the first race of the day with the 8 and 9, who were both like 4-1 or 9-2, whatever. All right, no real quick thoughts on the day here at Del Mar, the end of the day, especially as the sun sets over the beautiful Pacific Ocean.
It was a fun day. I mean, anytime we don't get to do it often, but anytime we get to highlight Del Mar on the Weekend Warriors. It was always a pleasure. Sorry I couldn't join you guys at the beginning of the show, but for the time I was on, it was a blast. Paul, congratulations! It's a hell of a hit. Those turf races were not easy today, so congrats on that. And yeah, looking forward to getting back and playing some more Del Mar next weekend.
No, I subscribe to the Del Mar Power Picks. That's the key to my success.
Awesome, appreciate that.
Noah, thanks for joining us. We worked also today.
By the way, Noah, you're never going to buy a drink around Dr. Jeff Mora again, just so you know. You will never, ever buy a drink in his presence.
Or bacon, or sausages, or eggs, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Noah showed a little cooking prowess at our last Saratoga trip, Matt. It was impressive. I think he needs that. He can't replace Meg though for our real Brock.
She's irreplaceable.
She's the queen. Paul, you had a great day. Congratulations, betting wise. Final thoughts on any of the stake races with Knightsbridge, King of Gosford, and Tam Tam. You had all of them.
Well, yeah, I did actually. I think Knightsbridge. I just think it's really good for the division. You know, we're talking about now Forever Young and Sovereignty running against each other in 3 weeks or whatever it is, 4 weeks. And you know, there was a time when it, you know, after that Monmouth race, it looked like Knightsbridge, because Knightsbridge might be Bill's horse down the line, but he still had to prove it at 1.25 miles because Sovereignty had to answer a lot of questions in the Whitney. So it's been a pretty good 3 weeks for Mr. Mott, and he's holding a pretty good hand, I would say, going into the class. You know, Sovereignty's still got to run that race at Belmont, but certainly at 1.25 miles, you know, unless he runs a real clunker, which we don't expect, I think Bill's got a pretty good hand for the Classic.
Yeah, they got 1, 2, and I'll say 2.5 with Baeza. Don't forget about Baeza. I mean, if you can ever figure out the gate situation, he's running in the Goodwood, by the way. No, I'm sure you saw that earlier today. Matt, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it that you hopped on. Sounds like you had a nice little betting 2 hours. Any thoughts on what you saw today? Maybe implications, going forward in the Breeders' Cup. Do you think Knightsbridge is a horse you could easily bet in the Breeders' Cup Classic over Sovereignty with Forever Young? I mean, any final thoughts?
Well, you'll get the lawyer answer of it depends, of course, but I think he's definitely a player at this point, and I think that's cool to see. I like the idea, of multiple, heavyweights getting in the ring, and it doesn't have to just be one-on-one. It could be a good old battle royal. I think we saw that on Twitter this week. So pretty funny. And I'd say from a betting perspective, I think what we saw in the last hour was a really good example of a team approach. Listen to each other. We all have different ideas, and I had no idea I was going to be playing a horse like Original Sin today. I did know I was going to be focused on Knightsbridge if I bet the race. But Howard, thanks. You talked me right into it, and I mean, that's the benefit. And Howard, and I should say, Paul, your confidence in Knightsbridge helped. And so it's just funny, right. And like I said, I blew it with Noah that if I was really paying attention to the other box on the screen, I would have had the trifecta too. So yeah, it's kind of cool when the people you're with kind of prop you up and help you out. So thanks to both of you.
Matt, 5 seconds on what's on the bottom of the screen for people that are new, because we always have new people watching and listening. I'm not going to show the tip sheet today, but it did have some scores, including
these numbers. On there. These numbers will be higher next week. I'm almost certain of that. And that's not an easy thing to do when your numbers have been this good. So it's funny, you know, I've told Howard before, as these numbers started creeping up, dude, it starts to sound like bragging when you keep saying how great your ROI is. Let someone else say it. Well, it's starting to sound like bragging when I say it now. These numbers are ridiculous, Howard. And so, yeah, I mean, he puts this stuff in print, people. It's nice and easy. He puts it in big yellow highlighter when it's the play of the day. And it couldn't be an easier tip sheet to follow. You are not inundated with a million data points that you don't know what to do with. He makes the spot plays nice and easy, and you can see, you know, he's accountable and profitable as hell. So good stuff.
Yeah, congratulations. Had 2 close seconds. No, you're not the only one. I also had Freddie B, who ran a monster race today against Stimulate. But anyway, guys, it was a lot of fun. It's already late. I know how to keep Paul up, guys. Just have him win. That keeps him awake when he's winning. But again, we really and the coffee or whatever. It might be something stronger at this point in there, guys. Really appreciate
Cody's wish mug. There's like special power in that thing. We know that. Come on.
Really appreciate it. Last announcement. As of now, our last planned Weekend Warriors for a few weeks will be next week. It's Travers Week. I have no idea who's going to be on it. I have to talk to my wonderful family here. I will be hosting it for sure. Travers Day, Paul, is simply one of the best cards the entire year. You will be there, I believe. Is that right, at the Travers? All right.
Yep,
so
I will pop on from the paddock.
Great. We'll get Paul from the paddock, and hopefully
Jim Pilar's will be there as well. And
great.
Dr. Jeff Mora might be there.
Okay. Got a lot of people going to be there. Maybe we'll have Noah or Matt or Andrew or Cobb. I'm not sure. We'll have someone else, obviously, other than me and Paul on the airways for next week's Travers. So join us for Weekend Warriors next Saturday. For Noah Maher, Paul Halloran, and Matt Miller, this has been your host, Howard Kravitz, episode 46 of a thrilling rendition of Weekend Warriors. Please join us next week, next Saturday, and, of course, all of our shows during the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, as it is Travers Week coming up at Saratoga. Crush your bets. Anything else you play this weekend. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.